that sounded good.
Cheers,
that
guys.
really
What's
did
going
sound
on?
Good.
Cheers, fellas.
Welcome, Travis. It's good having you on here,
afternoon.
man. We've I've been wanting to have you on here for a long ass time, man.
Yeah, I've been wanting to be on here. If I'm being honest, I've been looking forward to it.
Nice, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fun to
Fuck yeah,
see.
that's a good beer. I haven't had
That
a
is
hazy
a
in a
good
while,
beer.
man. That's a fucking good
Yeah,
beer.
it is. It is. It's my first beer in third beer of the day.
But in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so man, we're at the airport in either Atlanta or Charlotte, and we're sitting there eating some hot wings, and I was like, yeah, these are pretty spicy.
Definitely Charlotte.
And Travis goes, yeah, that's fine because it doesn't matter because I'm gonna blow up the plane anyway. And I go, and I look at him and go, fuck, man.
Yeah,
you
maybe I
can't say
shouldn't have said that shit.
At the airport, I'm gonna blow up the plane anyway. Dude, chill. Get down here.
Yeah, that was one of those statements that you're like,
I'm an
it's
idiot.
shit.
It was so fucking
That's
funny,
exactly-
Don't you hate when you you say something? At the time, you don't even think. You just say it, and you're like, "What is wrong with me?"
Listen, I do that about 50 times a
man.
day.
Yeah, right.
I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
and
for
that's
sure.
being generous. So
Yeah, I can't tell you how much stupid shit I've said on this podcast.
dude.
man.
Oh, just on the podcast. Yeah, you don't even want to know the stupid shit we say off the podcast.
well, that's
It's
the
so
most
much worse.
interesting part. That's
Right.
that's really the behind the scenes discussions and shit like that.
I don't
It's,
know though. We stay pretty fucking equally stupid as we are on the podcast and off.
We all know.
yeah.
You and I know each other enough,
Right.
Brian, that we definitely are going to say some stupid shit.
Oh, absolutely.
I heard
For
y'all. I heard y'all had a good time in Austria.
We did.
I'll let Bryant tell you his version of the story. Put it that way.
So we drank a few beers in Austria, in the Germany area, Austria area.
Mm-hmm.
And to say the least, man, we met some friends.
Yeah?
We met some good friends, man.
We don't meet strangers at all.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Just friends.
Yeah, just friends. No, just friends. Yeah, we'd been day drinking all day, and we had fucking beer since like 11. We actually that was the day we climbed the mountain, so we went up the ski lift to this fucking big ass snowy mountain in Innsbruck, which
dude,
is
it was
known
so
for
pictures. Yeah, they look nice.
it's known for
Look
like
really
skiing
cool.
and shit.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
So then we ended up getting to the next part up above that, and then we hiked up like probably it was close to 1,000 foot
At
uphill.
least, yeah. That was a struggle.
And man, it's so exhausting, dude. Like the air is being so thin.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
I felt when you're fat and out of shape, you're like, well, shit. Okay, it's almost like that whole idea when you're like we talked about, Jacob. Your eyeballs are bigger than your stomach.
Yeah,
it's the
seriously.
exact same thing. My eyeball, my thought is like, man, I can do this shit. I'm still 23.
Yeah, you look like you're in pretty decent shape.
well,
you know.
Well, that's because you've been losing some weight too, man. You've been killing it.
Yeah, I
You've been
appreciate
killing
that.
it.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. It's come a long way in a short period of time, but it's those are the times when it reminds you that 40 is definitely different than 23.
You're feeling it, right?
For sure. After 2 knee surgeries, it really was screaming for mercy.
But yeah, man, we climbed the
worth it.
mountain. It's like been a great day. We come back down, have more beers. They had a
Yeah.
fucking bar on the mountain where they were having draft beers.
baby.
Man, it was.
I know y'all got a beer.
Oh, we
dude,
had like 3.
Had,
Yeah,
I was
nice.
going
Like
to
3 or
say
4.
we had plenty.
Yeah.
We definitely had plenty.
And man, the beers are so like. They're different, but they're so fucking good, man. It's like everything is quality. I didn't have a bad beer.
Smooth.
I didn't have a single
very
bad
smooth.
beer.
Yeah,
Really?
And
Not
that was
one.
I had a lot.
we,
So
Tested a lot of them.
They're lagers, they're light beers, they're fucking. They had
their light beers are definitely better.
a
than
white
ours.
beer.
Oh yeah,
which is
Yep.
I guess it's like kind of like their version of an IPA. It's almost like a sour IPA,
Okay.
Yep.
but it was so good, man.
What about
So
the
fucking
food?
good. Oh, spectacular.
Food. Oh
The
yeah.
the worst place we ate at was an expensive steakhouse,
Yeah.
and it was good.
It was.
It was good. It was pretty solid.
It wasn't bad.
It was overpriced,
Definitely overpriced for what it was, but
but man,
for what it was an experience that you could not let loose at.
Yeah.
like money can't like. The money is so worth it because the
Right.
experience is something.
Oh,
Yeah,
you've
you
never
can't go on a
experienced.
trip like that and just go cheap.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
If you're gonna go, you gotta go and experience it, have fun.
Spend a
Drop
little bit of
of
money.
And for the viewers that don't know, Travis is actually so I talk about my student Turtle Jacob. That's his dad. So
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's awesome to fucking have you on here.
13-year-old
appreciate
kid
that.
that's like
6 foot tall,
6'7"
150
or
pounds,
whatever.
6'7".
Yeah, he's
I was like,
definitely
oh my gosh.
he's definitely got a lot of growing left
Yeah.
to do, and
A lot of filling in to do, and he'll become, as he grows, there's a lot of
Right.
growing left.
And
Yeah.
trust me, of course, he has that attitude as well as I'm almost as tall as Dad, so now I
Yeah,
can,
right.
So you get a little cocky?
Yeah, very cocky, very cocky. He is definitely my son. You
Yeah.
cannot deny that. I couldn't deny it if I tried.
He ever hit you with a little sidekick at home?
He tries to. He's always shadow boxing me.
Yeah, of course, of
always.
course.
And it's like, son, I love you, man, but get the hell away from me. I'm sick and tired of you sitting there constantly wanting
Punching
to
at
hit me.
me.
Yeah, punching at my kidneys while I'm standing in the line at the grocery store. I'm like, stop! What the hell is wrong with you?
So the best part,
He just likes to hit someone.
the greatest part of that for me was whenever. So I would do that the whole time growing up. Whenever I
I
was
used to always
fighting
see it with
to
him and
dad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
then
see.
my dad started taking karate
Yep.
when he was like 42. And then as he was coming, then he started doing that shit to me. And I'm like, yeah, now you see how fun this shit
Yeah.
is. You just can't stop thinking about it.
Yep. It's definitely a something that gets under your skin in a good way.
Yeah.
Being part of that, the group of everybody that puts in for it.
Right.
And then for us to be able to go out to places like Austria,
it's
really
beautiful,
just
man.
is. I try to tell Turtle several times, it's not the fact that the world is that big. It's not. It's small. If you want to do it, damn, screw it. Do it. Figure out what it's going to take to do it and do it. It's okay.
I like it.
Yeah, for sure.
Is his long-term goals to like fight in the UFC or anything like that, or is like what's his?
So he likes the idea of it, but he doesn't like getting hit in the mouth. So he just is. I think he's going to be on the fence until he finally either gets confident in himself or he decides to. Okay, this is just a good pastime.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because
and
he takes contact all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's a strange
that's a
wall to break.
strange-
It's a
yeah.
13-year-old. You got to remember
Yeah.
he's still 13
That's
too.
true.
So
And as he toughens up and builds more confidence, gets fills his body out, he's going
Right.
to gain more confidence, and then
there's that.
it's going to
Yeah.
all grow in. I
For
think,
sure.
and he'll just kind of overcome that. But I think there is something to be said about the fact that he doesn't like getting punched in the mouth, but he's facing it.
Well, and he don't let it intimidate him.
right.
Not when it's time to go to work.
That's
right?
a great quality to have.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
and so he wants to talk, shit about it.
Yeah, right.
To get in his own head about it beforehand. But once it's to that point and it's time to go to work, like I said, I mean, he just does it.
yeah, for sure. And that definitely comes from like some of the more adult fighters, like me myself. Whenever I fight, Jacob, I'm not pulling any punches.
Oh,
I'm
and
gonna
I don't
punch.
want
I'm
you
gonna
to.
punch him in the back of the head, and knock him on his ass. Like,
you would give it.
yeah, I'll blast. I did it today. I'll blast him. It doesn't. And
It's going to make him better.
and he'll have tears in his eyes,
Absolutely.
and he'll be like, "Why is he beating me? Why is he doing this?" And it's okay. It's okay. He'll understand one day.
yeah,
But like he was
it's
talking
tough
about,
love, man.
he was
Oh,
talking about
100%.
how like he's either gonna move on to that or make it just like a great pastime. Like for me, that's one of those things I look at in martial arts where there's so much talent that comes through at all times. Either they stay
That
for
hurt my
years
soul a little bit
or they
hearing-
quit.
I ain't gonna lie.
You get what I'm saying?
I like hurt a
And
little
like-
inside. My inside hurt a little
And
bit.
there's so many
'cause-
people that come through and they pass through with so much talent, and they're like, yeah, but it was fun. It was a good stint in my life. But like for me, I see like, how do I make those people stay? How do I make it to where it's not just a pastime? You have all the
once
talent
they
in
had
the
their
world.
black belt, once they
Yeah,
it
they're so
becomes
like,
so
I did it.
repetitive. They've done it for so long. How do you not get burnt out after 10 years?
Right.
And that's
You know?
that's my goal because like that's something I've overcame.
And
I've
yeah.
been doing it for it'll be 14 years this year in September, and so
Very few people
That's
even work for a living
exactly.
at the same place for 14
Exactly.
years, let alone being able to do something like that.
and so for me, it's like my goal is to make it to where it's not just a fucking pastime. This is something they can use all of their talents for to make a career out of. That's my long term goal for all of my students.
And I will say, I love seeing him as a younger instructor.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like old karate teachers out there these days, older karate teachers, and I think that I'm not going to say that they've like kind of lost their interest or anything like that. They still got that burning sensation, I'm sure.
Sure.
But I think that one thing that's not taken into consideration is that these kids look up to a more energetic, youthful,
Well, they're more
teacher like
relatable.
Bryant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember asking I remember asking Caden, do you watch UFC? Do you know who Israel Adesanya is? And he was like, no, I don't really watch UFC. I was like, describing to him who Israel Adesanya is, who's this, phenomenal kickboxer, one of the greatest in UFC history. And his question was, I might have talked about this on the podcast. His question was to me, can he beat Bryant?
Nope.
And I said,
Sure can't.
Yeah. Nope. I don't think he can, buddy.
Right. Don't want to crush his
But
dreams.
that right there, I was like, these kids look up to him so much, and I think there is no better role model for those kids than that, like, youthful energy, who's like also very positive. I think those kids can take a lot more from him versus like a very older guy who a lot of these dojos have. They kind of look at them as more like a parent, a authority figure.
For sure.
Bryant's got that youth that kind of like brings them in and kind of can really influence them.
Yeah, because it's a lot more relatable, just like Travis said.
Yeah.
It's like you see somebody's like, he's really not that much older than me, and he's at this level. Like, I can be there. I can be there in that, like, in not long. Like, yeah, it's not that far out of reach for some of these kids.
Well, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say that that's what Jacob and I have had discussions about in the past is about that you're not that much, not significantly that much older than him.
Right,
and so he's, he looks up to you on that aspect. And I told him, I said, you got to have better role models, but I mean, if it's Bryant, why not? Right.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna laugh. Y'all can look at me serious all you want to. I'm going to laugh at that.
Well, so the problem is, I did this thing where I didn't hear all the things you said, so I just acted like I did. I was like,
I'm married. I understand.
Right, yeah,
I've been married for a long time. She only hears part of what.
That's the worst.
I wasn't expecting a good dig there, and it kind of caught me off guard. I was
whenever someone
like,
busts your
Did
balls.
he really say that?
yeah, I was like,
That's the worst when someone busts your balls and you weren't really listening, and everybody starts laughing. You're like,
And then we just keep on going.
like we're mad.
but I'm just like, I don't even know what he said.
Yeah.
I was, because you're trying to think about what you're gonna say, and like you're listening to them too, and you're like, oh yeah, you're taking it very serious, and it's like, cut. You did like,
I'm going to dig under that.
Yeah, so I'll take it. I'll take it as a compliment.
I mean,
that's great.
you're used to taking it. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Why
The
not?
Newsom household, man.
We're back.
He's on it. He's on it today. The one-liners just
But
zinging.
yeah,
them, baby.
man. It's and like that's another thing though that even some kids can look up to. Whenever I do fuck up, I'm the first one to say I fucked up,
Well,
and that's what is a very important part that like a lot of people can't grasp that idea of like
There's adults who can't.
I
you're-
fucked
you're
I fucked
100%
up.
accurate.
Yeah.
I fucked up. Don't fuck up next time, but I fucked up this time. Acknowledge it. Fucking move on.
It's easier to teach the kids that than the adults. I feel
It
like.
is.
100%, because when we're if we're talking about even like what we do for a living is we tend to see other people that are like, man, it's like babysitting, right? is what we all talk about, and it's 100% just like babysitting. You have to treat grown ass men just like little children, but if
crazy.
you do it the same way all the way across the board, whether it's at home or at work, it's all the same, and so you get the exact same result from a kid that you would a 40-year-old if you do it the exact same way. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's a good thing that you're doing what you're doing, because I damn sure couldn't do it, and
but I'm also almost half. How old are you?
40.
You just turned 40.
Yep.
Right.
So the difference between me and you is the difference between him and Turtle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're 40, I'm 30.
Oh, yeah. 10
years.
Yeah.
23,
I've been doing
13.
karate since before, like right when Turtle was born.
Holy shit.
I started karate when Turtle was
He was
born.
9.
10 years old.
10,
Damn.
yeah. I remember his first fight.
10 years
Oh,
old.
really?
Yeah, I still remember it.
Yeah. So it's there's so many levels, but those levels they seem far apart, but really it's just like one fucking concept can flip you to the next level so fast.
Well, it's just as soon as it clicks, right?
Yeah, as soon as it clicks, and it's so beautiful watching a person work so fucking hard every single day, and they're thinking about it. They'll text you about it. They'll call you, but hey, what's this and this and this, and then you see that page turn a little bit, and you see them grow a little bit. It's
Both
so
of those
good.
kids, Caden and Turtle, can be something special in martial arts.
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
I've watched this. I've watched you.
Yeah.
So many tournaments fighting,
And I was never
long.
that good.
And,
I was never that good.
And he was always really, really good. But I've just noticed like there's kids who've got it.
Yep.
And Caden and Turtle both. They
Yeah,
got
for
it.
sure.
They can go as far as they want to go
Well,
in that sport.
And being, of course, I say the dad, but let's be honest, the wallet of it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it to see the progress in that short period of time has been huge.
Yeah, for sure.
And then,
Oh, damn. That
wow,
fast?
Bravo, dude.
Oh, they good,
Bravo.
man. They good.
Oh, man. Here, you go ahead and take this one.
No. That's why I had to. That's why I got to. It's the oral fixation.
man.
Oh,
You gotta pace
have
yourself.
something in your mouth. Hey, listen, it's
It's
just
not
that's
good,
understandable.
dude.
whatever. I ain't even gonna. I'm not touching that.
But even like you talk about like making some mistakes. Like when we were in Austria, we drank entirely too much one night.
Yeah,
And
well,
I got obliterated. I was blackout drunk in Austria, like,
in another country.
and
yeah.
I wasn't planning on getting this way. We literally sat at the bar at 9:30 and said one beer,
one.
and then it was
We
two.
probably, we said one beer. Too many times.
To be fair, it was his fault.
No,
He started
hold,
this.
Hold on a minute.
He started this.
I ain't going. You seem like an instigator.
He started this.
Well,
If there's a good time to be had, you gonna have the good time.
So-
well,
so
I
we're-
will,
so
I
look,
will
hold
be
on.
that, but
let
I'm
me
not.
plead my case.
All right, fair enough.
So he's like, "Hey, let's have one more beer." And I was, all right, so we had our second beer, and
and
then
that's
that
a
was it.
motherfucker waiting to be instigated.
So we had a second beer, and then he goes. So we're like, so our bartender, we had been hanging out with him all week, and he had made he has his own cocktail that he made. He calls it Purple Rain. It's a gin cocktail, delicious, very good. And so we're like, well, we at least got to have one of those before we go, and then that's it for real. And then Travis goes, well, I'm having one of those and a beer.
well,
and I'm
but,
like,
so I'm gonna stop you right there. That's only because you had one beer before I even got there.
See, that's
So-
how it starts.
so-
That's how it starts.
That's exactly right.
So he
you
said,
know.
I'm having one of those.
I've had more to drink than you've got.
I never said that. I never said that.
I did because
He goes, he knows.
I did. I ain't gonna lie.
So
to
he
you.
goes, I'm having a Purple Rain and a beer. And I go, I'm not going to have a beer right now. And he said, oh, you will.
"Oh, you will." Yeah. I mean,
And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want one right
You
now.
remind me of my buddy Chris Harris.
Chris
so-
Harris.
Yes.
He was on the podcast before.
So then I have the Purple Rain. And I'm like, now I want a beer again.
Yep.
And so I go, well, I guess I'll have a beer. Because he still hadn't finished his beer. He was like halfway through both.
But then we gotta have a shot. See,
so
that's
then I have a beer. Then we have a shot. and
Once
then-
you have a shot, it's fair. It's all
but,
over with.
But hold on. He said,
You
you,
can't
will,
just be like,
you will
let's-
have a beer. So whenever I order that beer, he goes, I told you would.
You can't just be like, let's have a shot. Okay, let's go home.
So,
no,
so
when you
in
get
my,
a shot, you're like,
so in my head, though.
woo, let's go. Let's go.
So in my head, though, he's up one on me. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going to even the score. So we're sitting there, and he goes, man, you about ready to close out? It's like 10:30 or something. I go, you go ahead. I'm having another beer.
Nah,
Oh,
that
what
shit
a
ain't happening.
big ball.
No, yep. That shit.
I didn't even fucking want it. I didn't even want that damn beer. And he goes, you son of a bitch.
Yep.
He said, I'll have another beer
You
too.
son of a-
And then it was just fucking downhill. 2 bottles
Damn,
of
you said
tequila.
you go ahead. I'm gonna have another beer.
I said,
you big pussy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I felt like.
It's a nice way of saying it.
It was good. So I feel like I evened the score pretty well. I did a good job.
You definitely dealt with the situation
Yeah.
better than most people.
It had to
would
be done.
have.
It
Yeah.
had to be done.
That's hilarious.
So then at weigh-ins the next day, we were miserable.
Yes, very
bet.
much so.
But guess what? Still intermittent fasted. Except
Yep.
for I didn't stop drinking until 4:30, so that doesn't count.
Well, you say 4:30. I think it's 5:30. It was right at 5:30 by the time we got into the room. Now, we shouldn't be saying this on podcast, but, it is what it is. So, my wife's going to see it now, so I love you, baby.
Hey, sometimes
we
we
make
Shout out to
mistakes.
Gidget.
Yeah,
cheers,
Gidget.
cheers to Gidget.
Cheers
Because she
for
is
sure.
I've always said this, that y'all are like the perfect karate parents as far as like allowing the teachers to teach. Because there's a lot of parents that will bring their kids to karate and they'll try to teach them all these moves.
Oh,
and-
dude.
And they'll also they'll get the kid to
Such a
decide
pain.
and they'll try to train them.
Oh, God,
They'll try to
it's so
train
annoying.
the kid, and then you start creating bad habits.
yeah.
Stay back, let the teacher do their
And that's
job.
something they've always done. And not to mention, Travis is not just a karate parent. I mean, he's a friend. So
Yes.
it's very lucky to have a parent that is so open to just letting the teacher teach, but also a good friend.
I feel like most adults don't understand what coachability is.
Yeah.
And this goes from letting your kid be coachable up into being letting yourself be coachable. Because most people, they're so set in their ways. It's and married to their own ideas. It's
They know what's quote unquote best.
right, but they're not.
Or for them.
But
Right.
even the dumbest person on the planet can teach you something you don't know. They know something you don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
sure.
And even if that's the wrong thing to do,
Yeah.
you can learn something from everyone.
Yeah.
You can learn it from even
You
the
can learn
bad
something from
things.
everyone.
Yeah.
The things that are wrong, you can still learn shit from.
Yeah. So I think there is some people out there who just, need to be a little bit more
A
coachable.
little more open.
A little more open,
A little more
yeah.
open to shit. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and realize that they're not the ones with all the answers.
Exactly.
As a parent,
Yes.
and that's the thing is as parents, we're used to being the one that always has the answer, right?
Yeah.
Or we're always the one that the kids come to for,
Guidance,
solving the problem, guidance, whatever. But, when you're part of a sport, you have to let go of that. And when Jake was doing football, and even still to this point, I can tell you if he was doing football, because I was so much into football.
I'm a
so
football
committed.
guy too, man.
So it would be a hard thing for me to go, why is that? Why is he not doing this?
Right.
Why is he not doing
that would have
that?
been 10 years ago. That would have been me with every sport.
Yeah.
Basketball. Play football.
I'm the same way. But also for me,
But
like now
now-
looking at it, I'm like, I think the best way to do this is talk to the coach. Mm-hmm. Like tell the coach, hey, why is this? And let them
Right.
explain it to you.
Right.
And if they say, that's a good idea. And I do that a lot of times. Like you'll say something to me, I'm like, that's a fucking great idea. I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
And so like, even whenever we were in Austria and one of the parents from Florida asked me to help coach his daughter. Mm-hmm. And the whole time, like I can say all these things to her that I would teach. But what I do is I instead, so you can have two coaches in Waco at the same time,
Okay.
And so there's two chairs,
That's cool.
And so I would look at Danny. That's the guy's name. Shout out to Danny. But his daughter's fighting, and instead of me saying do this, I look at Danny and say, hey, this is what I see. Like I'm seeing the other person's fucking kicking, and they're like setting their leg down too fast or whatever it is.
Just put your perspective on the fight to
and
him,
and then let him be like, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And then he can react off of that because he knows his daughter.
And not to mention she knows his voice a little bit.
Right. So she's going to automatically tune you everything out other than his voice.
Yeah,
'cause
but
she's so
also,
used to it.
it got to the point where they kind of have like it's a dad and daughter still. So
exactly.
So he was like, you know what, you talk to her, because it was easy for me to like calm her nerves. She was like just listening because she doesn't know me as much. So it worked out really well. She ended up actually winning first in seniors and killed it, man. It was so exciting to fight and like help coach with that guy, because he's another guy I would love to have on the podcast if he lived close. But such like a down to earth guy that's like very open to change.
So you being a football guy,
Yes, sir.
what got you to get Turtle into karate?
So I wish I had the answer. My wife could probably tell you exactly what it was. I couldn't. I remember him saying, I think he had a friend that was going to the dojo, and he had invited him, and he kind of saw that it was, contact, but at the same time, very, uses a lot of his energy.
Yeah.
And so he has a lot of pent up energy, and he wanted to be able to release that, because we've tried him in soccer, football, and a couple of sports, and he was he likes it, but he doesn't want to participate in it because, especially where we're at, a lot of the coaches for the rec and the middle school and all that,
I know what you're talking about.
they tend to think that it should. You should wake up thinking about football and go to sleep thinking about football, and everything in between has got to be about football. Yeah. And
That's me with karate. Yeah.
yeah, and but to that extent is that you're not going to not train him,
Right.
because he chooses to go out and play football
Football's
Oh,
a lot
yeah,
of
on a
politics.
on a Saturday morning.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
And
I encourage all that stuff. I'm just
Football's-
stupid.
Sorry, go ahead.
no, but that's the thing is that's why we stopped doing football and we stopped doing soccer and some other sports, is because they think that if it has to do with the kickboxing that we do, and he has to travel for it, that he can't take time off from their practice and still play that week,
Right.
and be a part of the team. And so when you limit kids like that, it really puts a chip on my shoulder. I'm just being honest.
I'm 100% with you. And me and Caden actually had this discussion. He was doing wrestling.
Yep.
And he had, I think it was, he had a wrestling tournament like the week before Chicago. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Are you fighting in Chicago?" I said, "I do not want you to do this wrestling tournament." I was like, if we didn't have to travel, if we didn't had already paid for this fucking tournament and all these things, like that's okay that you're wrestling. I'm not gonna be mad at you.
Yeah.
I encourage wrestling.
I
Wrestling is
agree with
amazing.
this 100%.
But if you have a wrestling tournament before your tournament, that's in a whole other, like we're spending $1,000 to go to this tournament.
yeah, you go out there and tweak your ankle or your knee or something.
Right.
I was like,
Then you're done.
and I was
Yeah.
like, and now I was like, you got to tell your coach. She's like, well, he's expecting me to wrestle. I was like, I said, if he's upset with you, then he's not the right person in your life.
Yeah.
I was like, because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you would spend all this money on a wrestling tournament, and then we had like some like South Carolina tournament, I'm gonna be like, dude, don't fight in this tournament.
No.
Go to the freaking wrestling
Yeah,
tournament.
exactly.
Yeah.
Go wrestle and then kill it. You know, because I don't want
Yeah.
you to be hurt. For
And
this.
I will say, those football coaches, you know, we've both seen this side of it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
right.
they are all about it. No other sport but football.
And I think that's kind of part of the closed mindedness that we were talking about. How even the coaches aren't like, they're not open to, maybe this isn't the only thing. I'm not like, I don't have to chase this. It's like the parent that wants to live through their kid. You know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see that in a lot of coaches. You see that.
For sure. And you know, with regard to those football coaches, they and I get it because football is such a big thing in the
It's
South.
such a tough sport,
It
too.
is.
But at the same time, they get so many it's like 50-50. Either they get kids that are committed and then they get kids that are just
Forced into it.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
that just are sitting there because they want to wear a uniform because their parents want them.
Yeah, I remember 12 and under. I remember, like, I loved it. Like, I loved football. I loved playing. And then I saw, like, some of my other friends and stuff that were in there. They were like third string. They were
Yeah.
like,
Why am I even here?
there's a reason why they're third string because they don't want to be here.
Exactly.
If they at least tried, hell, they would have a chance to kind of like, if they had any kind of confidence, you know, the coaches don't help with that shit.
No.
And the parents are just like, you know, be good, perform, football. It's like if he had any kind of confidence, he could be fighting for a second or third or first string job.
For sure. They're all about let's be the star, not let's be the team.
Yes.
team, you know?
Yes.
And that's the one thing that I've always instilled in both of my boys is that you know, if you're playing a team sport, it's a team for a reason, not just one person.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
even
Yeah.
if you play a single sport like what Turtle and Caden do, is it still takes more than just them to make something happen, good or bad. You know,
Right.
and so they have to learn from each other and always grow every day, no matter what. So
Yeah, and that was kind of something that I was like, I was feeling whenever we were, I was like the last shower before we took off that morning. You know,
Yeah.
so it was we left on
Tuesday
morning.
Was it Monday morning?
Monday morning.
I
yeah.
guess it was.
So
Monday morning,
Sunday
yeah.
night, I'm taking a shower. I mean,
Yep.
I'm kind of sad this is over. You know, I got to
Yeah.
go back to my regular job and fucking everyday routine. I'm not in the just.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the tournament atmosphere. Like I love that. Like I thrive for that every
I know
day.
you want that every weekend.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm in the shower. I'm like, this kind of sucks that we're leaving. And I'm like, and it's over. And then I come to the realization it's not over.
No.
When we get back, we've got a lot of work to do for the next one.
Right.
And I was like, and so I was talking to Caden. I was like, you know, you can be sad that you lost in some spots and all this stuff, but like 10 years from now, think about all the knowledge you're going to pass down to the next
For
generation.
sure.
And then you're going to see them come up and get that same joy that I see now. And I was like, and then you're going to see them pass it down, and it's going to just,
And
it's
that's
a never
honestly,
ending cycle.
if you've watched the UFC, that is the evolution of martial arts right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
It's
It's
for
like
sure.
you go back to like, you know, like a Chuck Liddell, like who's just like a straight brawler. Now it's like, if you can take it to the ground, these guys are like brown belt, black belts in jiu-jitsu. Like the game is, everybody is so much well-rounded. And
Yeah,
it's
so
because,
much
you know,
versatility.
Chuck Liddell's coach taught Chuck Liddell how to, you know, just like kind of stand up and
Not get on the ground. Whatever you
yeah,
can do.
don't get on the ground. The next guy,
one-sided.
you know, the next guy's like, you know, it's just evolutions of it. Just like, this is what you do. This I've did all this. This is what my coach taught me. Now I can teach you what I've learned. And it's kind of interesting to see how fast the sport has grown in like 20 years, really,
Yeah.
23,
And the craziest-
25 years.
Yeah.
The hardest part is like it's not only being able to know the techniques, but teaching something it's so hard. There's such an art to just learning and knowing the techniques, but like being able to put it into the words that
And
another person
perspective,
can
yeah,
understand.
that people
yeah.
can relate to, yeah.
Yeah, and like that's like the part that I'm struggling with the most is like I feel like I'm starting to understand. Like this is the highest level of understanding I've ever had for karate.
Oh
especially
yeah,
point
you've been
fighting.
dialed in. He's been
And then
talking to me about it a lot.
even with teaching is the best I've ever been, but it's still so hard. Like there's so many different things where I'm like, what did I do wrong to make them learn it this way? And then like why? Like it's not
Yeah, I
only
got
just
you.
not
I'm
only
following.
like just a teaching aspect, but it's a psychological thing too. Of like how
for
do I
sure, yeah.
like Inception. I can't make them be like, he's trying to get me to learn this, so I don't want to. Like, they're gonna, like, your body naturally like pushes stuff away, like, especially as a young kid. But like, it's just like that idea of they learned it because of their ability,
Right.
and like being able to put it in words to where it's like a psychological or like a subconscious thing where they're like, oh, I can just do this.
Yeah, like, am I teaching this kid something that because of his ability is creating a bad habit?
Right.
And how do I find in between to keep him going, comfortable with his habit, but also, to where he doesn't have a bad habit?
Yeah, and I had a lesson this morning. I had a lesson this morning where I was talking to one of my students, and I was wording it in a way that it wasn't like the way, if somebody would have said this to me, it would have been like, I don't get it. Like, that makes zero sense to me. But then he said it. And so I just started using his terminology because it made way more sense to just go by what his terminology was.
Right.
It was like whenever you like go in or something to like keep your hand, like not try to commit all the way. And I was like, even though in my head, I think you should do the opposite, but maybe the way he's wording it is just different. So playing that like psychological terminology vocabulary game of also not only just knowing the technique and being able to say, hey, turn your foot this way, but also like how to position your body without telling every little part of the body, like.
Well, and I think what you're saying is that so in like management in what we do for a living, right, is you tend to lead people in the direction that they need to go. Now, if everybody's gonna try to understand something differently, right? Because now you have to deal with one person differently than you do the other, whether it be because of how you word it, how you come across, whatever. It's even though you want to get the same result, you have to come across differently. So it's the exact same thing with kids. When Gidget and I used to run a upstate youth camp here in South Carolina here, we it was all about treating each and every young child really differently than what their parents did, and that's the unfortunate part. But you're asking them questions and getting them involved with whatever you're talking about. It's not just listen to what I say and do what I do,
Right?
or do what I say kind of thing.
Yeah,
because there's so much, like, it's so easy to do that. That's like the easy way to do it. I can say do this and do this, and that's why you do it.
But if it was that easy,
it's so hard.
So many people would be doing it.
Exactly.
It's
so hard to, especially as a kid. Like whenever your parents said, "You got to do this," why? Because I said so. That made zero sense to you as a kid.
Oh, no.
And now you're like, "Oh yeah, it perfectly makes sense." Yeah, these kids are so
why.
stupid.
They're so dumb.
I was an idiot as a kid. That's why I didn't get it.
You can't comprehend where the person who pays the bills is coming from.
Right. Yeah, you don't understand
exactly.
why the whole their thought process and why it's that way.
Sometimes it's just shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
kid.
And so being able to word it in a way that they shut the fuck up is impossible. It feel like being able to word like, yeah, I understand that if I put my fucking weight on my front foot and I hold my hand this way, then the person's going to think this. And then I can do this and it makes it easier.
Yeah.
Being able to tell them that, that's easy to just say those words. But they're not going to get it until they do it. Like I can't just hop in their body and be like, I can't just do that.
Right.
No, you're right. And that makes sense.
It's so hard, but I love that art of also not just
That was nice.
it was.
That was nice.
That's good, yeah. Not just like the art of myself growing and my knowledge growing, but also my ability to word things. It's so hard, man. But I learned so much, and that's also like the great part about being a young coach is that I can tell them I'm learning with you guys. I don't know everything. I don't know any close to everything.
I always wanted to coach Little League football.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See,
I would love to coach an offense.
my biggest problem with that is that I don't have patience for young kids. I've been blessed with my wife being able to help raise my boys when they were really young, and then once they became about 7-8 years old, then I really got involved because I am not good with babies.
Really?
And anything that is when they're doing sports or something like that, I get so involved and so like hyped up about it. I could not.
I got a little bit of that in me, but I also have a little bit of patience in me too.
Yeah, see,
And I think it takes both.
That 100%, and that's why you're a better man than I am at your age, because there's no way in hell 10 years ago I would have been able to do that.
If I try, I might be like you in 5 minutes. Be like, oh
Fair
no,
enough.
what did I do?
What the hell did I get myself into? Yeah.
But I would always thought it would be fun to. I always want to do that in broadcast football.
Oh yeah.
I would love to be a
I can see-
broadcaster.
Well, and now here we are doing a podcast.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go, and
Some
see,
kind of cast,
Yeah, something.
cast and couch. You know.
Oh man,
all the
don't even
cast.
bring it up. don't. Let's not bring up thoughts from the past. How about that?
Understandable.
But yeah, I've always I thought it was interesting whenever people talked about being the broadcaster, play by play kind of thing. But I'd say some stupid shit. I mean,
I would
because
too.
there's
He
no
starts
way.
to come and then he pulls out.
Yeah, for like
That is
yeah,
fucking
exactly.
Troy Aikman. God.
There's no way I could be on live TV and say any
I
damn
feel like
thing
that's
that comes
gotta
in
be.
my mouth.
I mean,
It's
he
so
probably-
my brain.
recurring.
But it wouldn't shock me if like they had bets on like, hey, you need to get this
Oh, you
in 3
guarantee-
times.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guarantee you.
I need to
Oh,
hear
yeah, like, let me see you
Shagadelic.
say
3
meow.
Yeah,
All right, meow.
yeah.
All right, listen here, meow.
Yeah, you lose a bet to a football game, so next week you got to fit in 3 Shagadelics or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, God.
Oh my God! All right, I got to cut this for just a second, guys. Restroom.
Oh,
you're
go ahead.
good.
Yeah,
We're
we're good.
Keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good.
Yes, it was so beautiful in Austria, man. I
It
hadn't,
looked amazing.
It's good to see you, man. I hadn't seen you in what, 2 weeks?
I know. We took a
2
week
weeks.
off. I know. It's been
But
nice.
it feels
Cheers.
weird though. It feels weird.
Good to be
Cheers,
back
man.
in the studio.
Back in the studio. Back in the studio.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I haven't had a beer since Charleston Sports Pub, man. I'm
It's
starting
been what?
to.
It's been 3 weeks since you've had a podcast beer.
Yeah.
It's been 3 weeks since you've had a podcast beer.
Well, no, the last time I drank was.
That's been 3 weeks.
Has it been 3 weeks?
Yeah. So last weekend I was in Austria. The weekend before was Crabman and Glover.
It's been 3 weeks. Fuck yeah. I knew 2 didn't sound
Damn,
right.
yeah.
I, know,
I was
like, damn, the
We
2
said
weeks
that
felt
we,
long.
we thought we literally discussed this at the slice earlier, and we still didn't come up with it.
I know.
so
we're
stupid.
so dumb.
So dumb.
I guess I'll ask you because I knew it didn't feel right.
Yeah, I hadn't really drank this many IPAs that quick, and I have I'm bloated.
Are you bloated?
Yeah, I can't really like burp good right now.
That sucks.
It's kinda
This is a
fucking
good
gross.
beer,
It's a
though.
very good beer.
The Trailbound, juicy, hazy, juicy, ale?
hazy, juicy, yeah, juicy, hazy, something like
hazy, juicy.
that. Juicy, juicy. Me and Gabby and I and Austin and Lavina are going to Asheville in a few weeks, doing a zip lining thing, like through the fucking forest.
Oh man, I always think of
it's
Bert
gonna be good.
Kreischer's.
It's gonna be so fun.
Bert Kreischer's bit on like his family going zip lining.
I hadn't seen it.
Oh, it's on one of his specials. His newest special, Razzle Dazzle, was I think his best
When
one.
did it come out?
Like last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, big stand-up guy, you know.
Yeah. Well, that and I watched Chris Rock's special.
Oh, really? Is it good?
It was good. It definitely worth a watch, but I think it was a little preachy.
I could see that.
You know, a little.
Which
preachy.
I feel like Dave Chappelle kind of got that way too in his newest.
it's
in his-
kind.
his
Yeah,
newest.
he did. It's kind of like that. A little
Which I'm
bit.
okay with. I think
Yeah.
it's that's them coming into their older age and like,
Yeah.
and they're not only trying to be a great stand-up comic, which they already are, but also kind of like playing that that role of being influential.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get it 100%.
Yeah, it was a little too preachy, but it was still good.
Right.
It had some hilarious moments.
Right.
Dude, I've been watching a lot of movies lately. I've been watching.
Me too.
Mid-90s.
Oh, so this has to be discussed, but I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind for the first time.
Have you seen that?
I have not. I've been wanting to see it for years, obviously, because
That's
it's
a
been out for a
great
long
movie.
time.
Man, there's no movie that has made me feel the way that movie made me feel.
Yeah, that's the one with Jim Carrey and
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, she's
And it's
so
got
hot.
the
Really?
I
That's-
think
she
Kate
does it for
played-
you?
Oh, dude,
Mary.
Kate
She played
Winslet.
Mary Jane from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then she the guy that played fucking I think it was he in the Hulk?
What are you talking
Was it
about?
the guy that played Bruce Banner in the original Hulk? the
Oh,
2004
Eric
Hulk?
Bana? That's his name.
It might have been him. I gotta see this guy's name.
Are you talking about Lou Ferrigno?
No, it wasn't
No,
Lou
that's the
Ferrigno.
original.
That's the original Hulk.
Yeah.
No, not that guy.
But Eric Bana is the guy that played the original
I was
Hulk
thinking-
in the movie.
No, sorry, it was Mark Ruffalo. That's his
Oh,
name. Yeah,
Mark
Ruffalo.
Ruffalo.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's got
okay. The
Mark
latest-
the
Ruffalo,
newest
Elijah
one. Yeah.
Wood, Mary Jane from Spider-Man, Kate Winslet, and Jim Carrey. Man,
Yeah, I remember that one was good.
there's not a single movie that has made me feel the way that movie made me feel.
Really?
I've never been so sad watching a movie.
That's
like I was like devastated.
That's Requiem for a Dream for me.
Oh yeah,
That movie, that one was like, oh my god, I feel terrible.
and so
Why would anyone want to watch this? Turn back. Don't like.
Yep.
It's worth like. You should watch it, but it's gonna
And
make
so
you
for
feel
me-
like shit.
For me, it didn't make me feel like shit in that way. It made me feel like I was so sad because like I'm not in that situation, but I was like so grateful for like
Yeah,
some
it makes
of the.
you feel all kinds of shit.
It's like
man.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is for those who don't know is Jim Carrey, and he's going through basically a breakup, but his significant other has decided to erase him from their memory. And so then he finds out about it and decides to try to erase her from his memory. And then in the process of that, he's like battling. He's like, wait a second, I don't want to fucking erase this. And like, watching that, it's like, there's so many memories that we have that we like wish we could erase.
I just remember that whole relationship just like it's so
Yes.
sad, dude. Oh god, it's so sad.
And we can
so many
all think
quotes from
about
that movie,
we can
too.
all think about memories where we're like, oh my god, I want to like erase this so bad, but you can't erase it. It's inevitable.
well, and,
It's such a beautiful movie.
yeah. Well, and that's what makes me interested in watching it because you was telling me about that over in Austria.
Dude, I went to the bathroom in the plane and fucking cried like hard. I was like, holy shit.
I'm a little more emotional the older I get.
I was
don't
like,
know
holy
why.
shit, dude. This is like, I was like a little bitch. Like I couldn't leave the fucking plane. I was like, god damn, man.
I'm not sure I'd cry over a movie,
But I'm an
I mean,
emotional person anyway. Like I cried Interstellar. Like
I was
Oh,
yeah.
that
one
is such
scene.
a
That one
badass
scene.
movie.
Oh
It
my
will make
God.
you
That
feel a
one scene.
little
Yeah, for sure.
knot in your chest.
But I'm an
I ain't gonna
emotional
lie about
person
that.
anyway.
I am too.
Well, I am.
but Eternal Sunshine,
am not.
I highly recommend it. I highly
Eternal
recommend it.
Sunshine of the
Spotless
Mind. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming back to me. as
It's
you-
so good,
it's
dude. It's so good.
it hurts.
It's so good.
That's a good one.
It is.
Watched. You ever seen the movie? I doubt you've seen it. I feel like everybody that's asked lately hasn't seen it. Is Buffalo 66?
I have not. I've never heard of it.
Now I will say he's a big movie guy.
I'm a huge.
So I'm surprised.
movie
It's
buff.
surprised me
So is
that he hadn't
Jeremiah,
seen
and
it.
it's like this is a kind of like a cult classic.
It's been
film.
on Jeremiah's watch list for like a year.
Yeah, so it's like it's a cult classic movie. So cult classics, you've seen some of them, like Boondock Saints.
Sure.
Or,
Yep.
I mean, you can name some of them, but it's like
The Warriors.
The Warriors.
Warriors.
Yeah. Like so,
That
you
was,
always hear
that
about
was from way back when.
Legendary.
Buffalo 66 is a movie about a guy who put $10,000 down on the Bills to win the Super Bowl back in like the
66 maybe.
no, I don't think it.
Just
Yeah, they were not in the Super Bowl in '66.
Just like, I think
In
Super
like
Bowl existed in
the
66.
late '80s, early '90s, around that area.
Yep.
Whenever they went on the 4 run or
Sure.
whatever,
Yeah.
and he didn't even have the money to.
The Super Bowl didn't
back
exist in
it
the
up.
60s, did it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I
That was
would imagine
Green
it
Bay.
did.
What Super Bowl are we at now? Like 57?
Yeah. So
No, is it?
it's 50 something. But yeah, in the '60s,
So it didn't exist in the 60s.
maybe
then.
not. Maybe they just call it the championship.
Or it's
shit.
close. It had to be pretty close.
It was
Yeah,
damn
it was
right
around
at
there.
it.
It had to
Yeah.
be pretty close.
Actually,
Our parents
look
would
that up.
be
I'm all-
very disappointed in us.
No, I know. No,
I don't think they are.
I think
Maybe, well, your parents.
Well,
maybe.
I ain't gonna
You
lie
are
to
40,
you.
so-
Well, my dad's gone, and my mom doesn't have anything to do with me. So.
Bart Starr won Super Bowls, and I know he was playing in '59 up until
67 was the first Super Bowl.
67.
close.
Holy shit!
damn.
Wow.
How small do you feel right now?
I don't feel small at all.
I would've
Well,
said
you're a big
I was
motherfucker.
getting ready to say.
Only thing that makes you feel small is that little chair you're in. Man.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 61 is what I was gonna
Really?
say, but
I was doing math. I was like late 60s. Fuck, I was wrong.
Yeah,
I'd already come to the terms I was wrong before I looked it up.
It's
I
okay.
thought you was right. I was like, wait a minute, I never thought about it. He might be right.
Yeah, I'd already come to the terms. I did
But
the math.
Buffalo 66, yeah, it's about a guy. He puts the $10,000 down on Buffalo to win. He doesn't have the money to pay, and he goes to his bookie after they lose, and he's like, well, I could basically like bash your brains in or whatever, or you could take this fall from me and spend 5 years in prison for like I guess one of his guys like murdered
Sure.
somebody, got caught, and like he was going to
Fuck that, by the way.
take the blame.
Right?
So
Fuck
he,
that. By
so
the
he
way.
does that, and he gets out after the 5 years. That's where the movie starts,
Holy shit.
and immediately he wants to go back in because he's like the thought of like going out into the real world gives him so much anxiety. He wants to like immediately go back in. They don't let him in. Like, no, this is like you're not being arrested right now. You can't just like come in here and stay. And Yeah.
He said, "Oh, I can.
And, like,
kill
Hell, I've
someone.
been here. Shit.
Yeah, I could kill
and
somebody."
He goes back home, and it's just, and his parents don't know he was arrested. He told him he was just going like moving out west.
Oh no shit.
So like, it is. I don't know. It's no action, but it's all dialogue. But I really enjoyed that movie.
I'm not sure I'd have the patience for it, but
Yeah.
as we've talked about before already, I'm not known for patience. So if it ain't got a shit ton of action in it or tits and ass, I mean, I'm not.
I'm listening. Wolf of Wall Street, baby.
Wolf of Wall Street is your
Wolf
shit,
of Wall
bro.
Street is the best movie ever made. Period. Martin
Yeah, you
Scorsese could not have done
It's so
anything
good.
better.
Yeah, he showed Margot Robbie butt ass naked.
Fuck,
Margot Robbie is the hottest out right now.
She is
Because like when you
something
bring her
else.
up, it almost
And
feels
then
like
you saw
you're cheating.
her and Morgan Freeman on the Oscars.
I didn't
Oh
see that.
yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, Morgan
who's
Freeman,
like-
Margaret Robbie.
And I just put my
God
binoculars
bless.
on. And I'm zoomed in on Margot.
Cut him out of here. Get him out of here. Yeah, he's just like checking her out.
Can you blame him?
Can't blame him.
Hell no.
Oh, jeez, man.
I mean,
blame the
insane.
man.
damn.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Well, that's what a lot of money will do.
It
for
is a
you.
cheat code.
Of being just hot. Like
Yeah.
Shit,
it's a cheat
yeah.
code.
I mean, yeah.
She's lived life on easy mode.
Yeah. No, who's going to tell her no?
Who?
Me,
Well,
because I'm a man.
Nobody's going to
look
tell
at the camera and
No.
say that. Okay.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to them. I'll lie to y'all. I'm not going to lie to
Fair
them.
enough. Okay.
She's gotten every right of way at every
Oh,
stop sign.
100%. And
She's
you know-
gotten, cut in line. Oh, go ahead in front of me at the grocery
Yeah, but
store.
have you,
Shit,
have you ever
yeah.
seen the blue-haired freak at the at the GameStop? They'll tell her no.
Wow, well,
Yeah, depends on
when-
which
when
video
you
game
said
you're
that-
line for.
Oh,
when
shit.
you say they, you're exactly right.
Oh, no. We're doing this.
The new Halo just came out. You're not cutting in front of me.
They said no.
That's pretty fair. Okay, hold on. If it was Resident Evil 4, I'd be like, no, bitch. Get back.
I'd be like,
How many copies are there? 1, 2. Oh, yeah, you're good. Go ahead. I'll wait after you. I'll stand behind you.
Yeah, that's like saying she's the hottest is the cheat code right now.
Oh,
like
man.
she is. Everybody
Well,
knows.
Well-
if we're going to be honest, let's, we can't talk about Margaret Robbie without talking about Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's the first one that comes to
Shit,
mind.
man.
But if we really want to talk about the times, Anya Taylor-Joy. She's got the Anya Taylor-Joy.
Who is that?
Queen's Gambit. She was
She's
in
the Northman. You might have seen the Northman.
The
on
Northman.
HBO.
She
I
was
have-
in
oh,
Last
you're
Night in Soho.
Oh, her.
The menu-
okay.
the menu.
Yeah, the menu.
She's
yeah.
oddly beautiful.
So it's.
She's, I don't know. She doesn't do it for me.
I can see.
No,
why.
I can see why. I can see. I don't think she's attractive.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but I think
But-
she's attractive. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, she's oddly beautiful.
She is definitely different.
Yeah.
In the way her acting style is
Yeah.
in every movie I've seen her in. But
She's
I-
becoming one of my favorites.
And like the aesthetic of her like smoking the cigarettes.
Oh, dude.
It's like
she
it's
just
so
has this
gross to me.
confidence in her acting to sexy.
Exactly.
You know.
Like a woman.
she's nonchalant, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
a,
she's
a
just
woman
like,
that smokes cigarettes has kind of always been like kind of repulsive to me.
Me too.
Oh,
But when
nasty.
she does it, it's different. I'm like, I don't
Because
know.
it's like a
It's
cigarette.
the aesthetic. It's the aesthetic of it.
But yeah, she does have that confidence. As like while she acts, it makes you like.
yeah,
Yeah.
I could see
You're-
that.
This,
you're
this
attract-
bitch
yeah,
is
for
like
sure.
she's
I
got
don't-
it together.
now, let's
bad
be
bitch.
honest.
She got it together?
I would not kick her out of bed. I mean, I just wouldn't do it. But not that I'd ever get that
Which
chance.
which
but,
actor would you kick out of bed?
Tim
Jonah
Curry.
Hill. Tim Curry. Or Tim Curry.
No, Tim Curry.
Who the fuck is Tim Curry?
I don't know Tim Curry.
Oh, Tim Curry. I'm sorry.
Tim
You're
Curry.
right.
Oh, you're talking
Yeah.
about-
All right, now hold
Yeah.
on. What if he's Rocky Horror Picture? What if he's dressed up?
I
That's
would.
what makes
He
him
wouldn't
think
even get in
kick
my
him
bed.
out.
Maybe not.
He wouldn't even get in my bed. No.
Yeah, Tim Curry. You guys went men. That's hilarious. I was thinking of women.
Well,
that-
no, he said Tim Curry. I was like,
yeah,
you mean Tim
I-
Curry?
I meant Tim Curry.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tim Curry's man.
Yeah, he's a man.
I didn't go, man. I just was like,
You were
correcting.
Jonah Hill.
Oh,
You
yeah, I
said
guess I
Jonah-
did. Fuck. Oh, shit. I did go, man. I forgot I
like-
said that.
Like, whoa, I wasn't even thinking men.
How fast we forget. How quick
Real
we forget.
quick. Damn, is that hitting that far?
No, I'm just
No?
retarded.
Oh,
No,
well, that's
no,
fair.
I'm just an idiot. No, yeah, that's it.
I mean, I ain't arguing.
I'm just dumb as shit. That's it. I'll be the first to admit it, man.
So who are you thinking you would not, or you would kick out of bed?
Kristen Stewart.
Oh, get her out.
geez.
She's not
Get
getting
her
in there.
out.
She's not.
You
getting
know,
in
I feel
there.
the same way about Miley Cyrus. I would not touch.
with you.
I'd be pulling that mullet, baby.
I would not. I
That
would,
raspy voice.
no,
I get it though. I
no,
get
No,
it.
thank you.
she's gross. and I like it.
She's gross in the good way.
Yeah,
I
she's kind of sick.
I get it, but I'm with you.
That mullet's gonna come off her fucking head.
Hey, you're gonna make it happen, huh? You're gonna turn her into.
Go put it on.
Turn to Theo Vaughn. Jesus Christ, man.
Oh my God!
Oh, man.
Nah,
This is how fun it is to drink on a podcast.
Right.
Man. It's been a while. It's been 3 weeks since I've drank on a podcast.
Well, this is the first time I've drank on a podcast.
Cheers,
so
brother.
Cheers.
Cheers,
It's good
brother.
to have
Thank
you
y'all
here,
for
man.
inviting me.
Dude, absolutely.
I
And
knew
this
when
will not be
Brian-
the last
I
time.
feel like we've always, like, all of our guests have been always fun, but it's good to see, like, I think this might be the first time that you've had one on that we both didn't know. We've had someone on that we both didn't know.
Which I think,
Is there
I guess the only
Ted?
one. Kind of. I've met Ted. I've talked to Ted before because I went,
Okay,
when I worked
you
at Dad,
know
I
him, yeah.
went to wholesale, and Glover the same way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's really the first one that we both didn't know.
Yeah, so it was exciting to, like, actually have someone I don't know.
Like
what
even
the-
like Luker, like we went to damn Asheville.
Yeah, I
with him, so.
already knew Luker, but
Well, I am definitely a unique person, so
Yeah, I
I
think
appreciate
so.
the
Yeah.
invite.
Yeah, that's exactly what we look for, man. Is just like the people that we're close to, the people that we're close to that we enjoy being around, and we enjoy being around unique people. So.
Yeah, hey, I
People
mean,
that are genuine and just like they're not trying to be any
Themselves.
fucking anybody else.
that's
Yeah.
that's a fair statement. I ain't gonna be somebody I'm not.
Wow.
For damn sure.
In the description, it's going to be on this episode. We talk about pulling Miley Cyrus's mullet,
Scalping the shit out of Miley Cyrus.
scalping Miley Cyrus in doggy style. Fuck! What the hell?
I'm
grabbing
certainly
her
interested.
grabbing her ears at the same time. Shit.
Click
What's
that
going
like
on in this podcast? I need to watch this.
And if you did like and subscribe, don't forget to
Yeah.
the follow button.
Yeah.
Definitely
My
click
bell
the-
icon.
Dude, this shameless plug. God, this is getting ridiculous.
Oh, that's amazing.
You're
Great
kicking Miley
conversation.
Cyrus out of bed.
I get why, but I'm with
I
you.
get it. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Who am I kicking out of bed? What woman am I kicking out of bed? I don't know. I mean, they're not going to get in there.
It's the person who would like
Come on.
on your drunkest
Hold on.
night could
my
get in
drunkest
there.
night. Oh, my
Yeah.
drunkest night could get in there. I have to think about this. Give me a minute.
Oh,
Give me a minute.
That's why I said like Kristen Stewart. Like on your drunkest night,
Yeah, fuck that bitch. But that's a cop out. I can't say what you said.
I don't find her attractive.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with
But
you on
like
that.
someone on the line, like along
I don't
the
even
lines
think
of that.
she's a good actress.
I don't
Not
either.
even, Not even
Yeah,
a little
that's
bit.
what makes
Maybe
me
Emma
think of
Stone.
Really?
Oh, dude,
Oh, no,
I
I'm
would-
with you.
Listen,
I'm
I'm
with
telling
you,
you,
dude.
I
Emma
would,
Stone just gets on my
I'd
damn
replace the
nerves.
sheets 3 times for her. I mean, so yeah.
I just don't know, man. Emma Stone just like.
I'm
But I will
with Emma
say,
Stone.
the one episode of Maniac I watched, I was like, oh, maybe she's all right.
No, it was the opposite for me with Maniac with her in there. I was like, I'm not attracted to her at all in Maniac.
Really?
But Zombieland though, Zombieland was the one.
Dude, yeah.
Super bad and Zombieland, she pisses me off.
Oh, I like her in Superbad too.
She pisses me off. In
Yeah.
both. I don't like her face.
Really?
But maybe if I was drunk, I would like, okay.
But that's a good. That's okay.
Yeah,
So she'll
maybe
like
Emma
her,
Stone,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I do something. I do some really illegal things with them.
Illegal?
Illegal things.
But
Questionably illegal. Yeah.
okay, questionably. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Frowned upon.
Frowned upon. I think that's a better way to
I
put
think
it.
that's what
Yeah.
it is. Some frowned upon things.
Go back and edit illegal and I'll put frowned
Frowned
upon.
upon.
Frowned upon.
Robot voice.
What did he
I would,
really
I would
say?
do some really frowned upon things.
Like a robot.
Oh, fuck, I
Make
gotta
sure you
fucking
edit
piss. I'll
that,
be
by the
back.
way. Yeah.
If you want us to, we'll edit anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You
I
start
don't
trying.
give a shit. My wife loves me. She's coming home. I'm coming home. I don't give a damn. I've been married a long time, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's those are the things that my wife knew what she was getting into.
Yeah. So before we started the podcast, I was talking about like we might be having a kid soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said did you had yours at what age?
I think I was right at 21, give or
21.
take.
Yeah. And I'm getting I'm 30 now, so it's like I want like what you were talking about. I want to be like when my kid hits 18, 19. I want to be able to.
You don't want to be too old.
Too old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like if you want to go rock climbing, let's go or
Let's
whatever.
go.
Yeah.
And that's for me. That's been one of those things. But we've all heard people talk about, well, I don't want to have kids unless I'm financially stable or whatever. Which, let's be honest, unless you're a millionaire, you're not financially stable enough to have
true.
kids,
That's
right?
true.
So you have to understand what's the line in the sand, I mean, that's really
Yeah,
what it boils
yeah.
down to. You know, where's the line in the sand and what's the age? And, you know, always wanted to be a part of my grandkids, possibly
Right,
great-grandkids.
and that's where I'm at now. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man, it'd be cool to have some grandkids too. Shit.
Yeah. Now, my wife won't admit it, but, you know, I know damn good and well that we would love to be grandparents. And
Yeah.
eventually.
Y'all seem like y'all would be fun grandparents, too.
Well, and I appreciate that because, you know, I'm not your typical father at that. So
Well, my dad was the same way.
Right.
You know my dad. So like,
I know him. Yep.
He's not like the very standard, very strict. You know, he's very like kind of loose,
Just
goofy, fun loving.
It's about enjoying life.
Yeah,
You know, it's not always about serious. I mean, you're going to have your serious moments, right?
yeah.
But those are the moments you learn from. The rest of the time is just having fun.
fun. Yeah,
That's what it's about. You got to understand that, you know, there's a right and wrong to everything, and there's a moral code that we all have to abide by. But, you know, the kids, our kids at least, that's all I can speak for, right?
right.
Is they learn from what they see. You know, they have two parents that work our ass off, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, always going to work, always coming home and then doing the things at the house. But you know, some kids don't have that, and so they don't see it.
And I think it really affects people. Like you talk about the nature versus nurture thing.
Yep.
I think it's more nurture, honestly, because like I've started like as I get older, I start noticing all of these tendencies. That's
Yep.
like, oh, this is something my dad does
Yep.
all the time. Like my dad's really good at. Did you shut the door?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's like a draft. Yeah. Like I know it's like my dad was always really good at like just talking to people.
He had to double check. Yeah.
He's really good
You
at
made me second guess myself.
he's really good at like talking to people like socially, and then I noticed like, okay, I'm actually pretty good at that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm good at like just talking to someone, kind of mirroring them.
Never
kinda,
meeting a stranger.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, that's one thing that Bryant and I talked about a little bit in Austria is that it's all about networking, right? The more people you know, and the more people you can connect with,
yeah.
it will make you a more successful human being
It's true.
the older you get.
Yeah, and I think that's like what starts that. It's just like seeing life in the the glass half full.
Yeah,
like you were saying
glass
earlier.
half full. Yep.
Which is funny because when you said it, I was like, yeah, usually I don't even remember what we were talking about earlier.
I don't either.
But yeah, you kind of looked at it a different way, and I was like, that's kind of a way I usually look at things.
Right.
So I was like, maybe you might be onto something.
And that's the thing is that people, the older you get, the more you realize is that if, you know, the people around you tend to feed off of whether it's negative or positive, right?
Yeah.
Whether your aura is, or just how you approach things in a discussion with somebody is if it's a negative approach, a negative delivery of what you're going to say, then, you know, people are going to take it negatively.
Yeah, you'll
So-
feed off the energy.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm going to fake it till I make it with all of the aspect of I'm going to be the guy that people are like, God, I wish I had that kind of mentality of, you know, always being happy and shit like that. There ain't a single person out there except for my wife that will ever see me down in the dumps. Period. Not
I
a
feel
single
like
person.
I think like you and I connect a lot on that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a big
the
thing.
Same way.
Because
The same
everybody at
way.
work, I've had multiple people come up to me and be like, "Hey,
You're the
man,
happiest person.
Newsome, you always got a smile on your face. That's what I like
Always.
about you." It's like
Yeah.
it's just like I mean, yeah, it's a heavy day at work. Big deal. Those days will come and go.
But
That's
yeah,
it,
but guess what?
you know?
I can walk and I can do it. I can do it.
I can do
Exactly.
it. Yeah, it's
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what separates us from everybody else is that I'm going to be the one that's going to do it with a smile on my face. You're going to be the one bitching and whining and going home and,
And who
crying
likes
to
somebody like that?
nobody
Oh,
does.
Jesus Christ.
Every single one of us has talked shit about people that bring us
Yes.
down at work,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, for
Every
sure.
one of us.
Don't be
Yes.
that person.
Don't be that person.
Don't be that
I mean,
person.
And the person who's just complaining and bitching and moaning about every little
Yep.
part for a whole 8 hours.
8 hours,
And
you
then
know.
do it again the next day.
God,
That's
I
the thing.
wanna
And the
fucking
next day.
choke slam them.
And
Yeah.
they do the same shit at home, and they suffering in their marriage,
and then they
the
wonder why
kids
their
hate
marriage
them.
is not great. you know?
Yes,
Exactly.
It's like,
Exactly.
dude,
Yeah, exactly.
who wants to be around the negativity?
But then those are the people that can't or refuse to look at themselves in the mirror and say, this is where I could do better.
Yeah,
This is,
yeah.
You know, every day on my ride home, it takes an hour to get home every day, at least Monday through Friday for me. And so during that time, I'm sitting there thinking every single conversation that I've been through, had to talk to somebody about, whether it be about their performance or mine, I'm saying how could I have done it differently, right?
Well, you also said that you carry a recorder with you.
Oh, yeah. I carry a recorder with me everywhere I go, and always when I'm thinking about stuff at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know,
you record it?
Yep, I will, because
Really?
I will not write it down. I record it because I don't want to forget it, because there's a reason why I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning thinking about this. Good or bad,
like
it
shit
doesn't
like
matter,
this.
right? You know,
I
and
like shit
so
like this.
I learned that from my boss, who hired me when I was 19. And so I've been doing what I do for 22 years, and I learned everything.
What do you do?
I am a operations manager for a couple of automotive repair body shops.
Okay.
And so I say a couple. It's like, you know, I mainly do 2, but I help with 5. So, but the owner of those is the one that I've been working with since I was 19. And he made me grow up really quick. He actually fired me when I was 19. And we even still talk about it to this day. But because he fired me, and how he did it, and how, not necessarily how he did it, but how he made up for it at the end, is really what made me grow as a person. And so he helped me get working with another owner up in Spartanburg for a couple of years, and I moved down to Columbia, and I tried to get out of the industry, and then came back 2010, I think, or something like that, in the upstate, and started working back with him. But you know, he's the one that like forced me to see it from somebody else's point of view. And it went a long way with me growing up and me doing better. And when it comes to what I do for a living, I'm very humble. I don't think that I am special, but I actually am pretty good at what I do. And so whenever I'm able to teach other people that, I'm teaching them the exact same thing I was taught. And it goes a long way with so my mantra has always been making people better every day than what they were yesterday.
I like that. Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna. If you're working with me, you're not working for me. You're working with me, side by side.
Yes, you're working with me.
Exactly.
And
boss
that's a
tell me
leader.
that.
That's a freaking leader.
That's a leader. Yeah.
Yep.
I had a boss tell me that one time, and I was like, you know, shout out Thomas. Shout out Thomas.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Thomas.
One of my good
Heck yeah.
buddies I've worked with since, you know, I started where I worked. I don't want to go on a work tangent, but yeah, he used to say that that same thing, you know.
Yeah, be a little bit better than you were yesterday.
Always.
If you're 1% better tomorrow,
But he used to always say, I'm
1%.
not working. You don't work for me. We work together.
100%.
yeah.
And I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I like that.
Me telling my title on this podcast is probably the 5th time I've ever mentioned my title in 2 years, because I don't believe in titles when it comes to that kind of stuff.
That's a good thing. That's a quality.
Yeah, and so you know, it's all about, we're all in this together to make the business better, but also make each other better. Whether it be better because we're able to make more money and we're able to provide better for our families than what we were when we first started,
Yeah.
or whatever it is. I mean, that's what it boils down to. Yep.
yeah, and that's kind of like, I look at martial arts the same way of like, I'm not your lead, I'm not your boss, your leader, or whatever. I'm the guy that's growing with you. You know,
Right.
No,
Learning
you're
every
learning.
time.
You're learning these techniques, but I'm learning new techniques that I'm going to teach you guys. Whenever I teach them to you, I'm probably going to learn something new about that technique within an hour of teaching you.
Yep.
And so, like, it's always a constant, as a person in general, not just as, you know, a coach or a leader or a boss or whatever it is, or a manager. You're not learning in that. You're learning as a person.
Oh, 100%.
Every single second of every single day, you're learning something about yourself or about someone else.
Well, and that's exactly right. You're learning how to deliver the message that you're wanting them to receive, and how to do that so that they can receive it properly.
Exactly.
And not negatively or anything else, because you said it wrong or differently than what they took it.
Right.
And that's a big thing that a lot of people don't realize, is that how you say it and how you deliver it will determine whether or not somebody's going to receive it the way you want them to receive it or not. And so you got to be very mindful about that.
Yeah, and not only that, like, you could say something in one way, and it makes them go the opposite direction.
Oh, yeah.
And so being able to communicate with people is also so important. Like being able to say, so like whenever I watch you do this, it looks like you're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
What's making you do that?
Right.
They're like, oh, well, I'm focusing on, you said it this way. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what I really meant was this. And like, oh, that makes so much more sense.
And I tell people all the time, and I'm probably the world's worst when it comes to this kind of stuff, that it's with my wife. I love her to death. I do. But I don't know what she means.
We can edit this out.
Yeah.
We can edit this out.
I don't know what she means. I just know what she says. And it's the same thing for the people I work with. I have no idea what the hell you mean. All I know is what the fuck you say.
Sad.
When you say it, that's exactly how I'm going to take it. Now, if it's a discussion or if it's a argument, a conversation, whatever it is, I'm just going to take it exactly how you say it. I didn't mean it like that. Well, guess what? I don't know what the shit you mean.
Yeah, I don't read your mind.
Yeah, I can't read your mind.
Is that like a man quality? Because I feel like,
dude.
Like, you're like, your wife will be like, oh, those things are very pretty. And then, like, you check out and you get to, you really didn't buy me that? I'm like, oh, I thought you just like, you didn't ask me.
I thought you were just like complimenting.
I don't read between the lines.
Yeah.
I don't read.
Tell me.
Just tell me.
Read between the lines, man.
What's that from?
School of Rock, Jack Black.
Yep.
How do you not like
this
Jack
has gotta
Black?
be talked about.
I just am not a big fan of Jack Black, only because, and you're going to find it funny. The only movie I've ever liked with Jack Black in it is called Envy with Ben Stiller.
I've seen it.
And we're talking
seen it.
a long time ago.
Oh, man.
And probably one of the worst movies made.
What was
I
that?
can imagine.
Is that the one where they do the vaporize? Or is
Yes.
that okay. Yes.
Yep. Vaporize. Yep. That's where he made his money.
It's
Yeah.
the spray where you spray it on dog shit and it disappears.
It just disappears. Yeah.
Where does the shit go? We want to know.
We want to know. Yep.
Jesus Christ.
It's bad.
But that's the only I'm not a fan of him in anything that he's
For
done.
what? I got to know for what
hilarious.
reason.
For what reason?
Just over the topness, I guess.
No, I think that he brings something that is different than like
It's jealousy.
Okay, I can say that for definite because he's a fat guy and I'm a fat guy and he's got a lot more
he's got
notoriety than
he's got
I do.
it,
So
you know.
he's got what the hell
He's
I
got
don't.
it.
But with him it's when you see him in interviews, it's 180-degree difference in the way he acts, and so you can't get to know who
I feel
he
the
is.
opposite of that.
I feel the opposite
See,
too.
I
I feel like it's exactly who he is.
not even a little bit because
Do you think he's putting on?
100%. I 100% think he's putting on. He gives that aura that he's putting on in front of an interview, then it's not his real self.
I think a lot of people feel that way about Burt Kreischer.
Yes, for sure. And Theo Vaughn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
so
he's just playing this character. He's doing a bit.
But I'm here to tell you, the more you like watch little clips and videos and shit, like you start to learn, like, wait a minute, this guy's just he's like a little crazy. But
he is
like
crazy.
Chris Farley.
They're crazy.
Like I bet Chris Farley's another one where it's
I'm
like,
sure. Like if you interview Chris Farley, like I guarantee if you interviewed Sam Kinison,
oh yeah, like big bold personalities,
Yeah. But that's the thing is with Jack Black, if you ever get him in an interview with somebody else, he's never the first one to talk. And I only say that because
maybe he's being respectful.
Say it whatever you want to be, but he's not that out. He's not that Jim Carrey. I'm the star of the show. I'm the one that, what you see is what you get in the interview. What you see in the movie is what you get.
This is me right now. That's how I feel about this. Look, man, if you've never gotten the lead out, come on, man.
School of Rock.
I could not make it through the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Wow.
I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
You got to give it another chance.
I-
You got to give it another chance. It's got to be done.
I'll try it, but if I make it to 20, if I make it to 20 minutes, I'll be happy.
It's got to be done. I really I don't want to say I look up to that movie in a way as a teacher, but he's one of those people that has been very influential to me.
Yeah, me too.
Especially in that movie, he is kind of like the outcast. He probably
Dork
shouldn't be teaching these
shouldn't
kids.
be doing that, yeah.
But he has so much insight. He genuinely cares. And there's not many people there's not many movies that have a person that genuinely cares for shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's called dramas, but yeah.
But you get what I'm saying? But the way he portrays it, I really like the character, man. It's so good,
bro.
Well,
What a dick. It's called dramas, bro. Get with it.
You're
In the middle of saying it, I was like, "Yep, here it comes."
I am quick-witted, but yeah, it's Jack Black is just not ever going to do it for me. Just
Don't
not
say
gonna
that. Don't say ever.
No.
Don't say ever.
Ever, forever.
Ever.
Damn.
Andre 3000.
Yeah.
Forever. Yep.
Forever, never seen that long until you gone.
Jack Black is just not the guy for me, man. If you're talking about slapstick
Sad.
comedy, it is 100% Jim Carrey. Period.
That's your boy, Jim Carrey.
100%.
But I feel like Jack Black isn't slapstick comedy.
He is nothing but slapstick
No.
comedy.
He does have some
It's
of
a little
that.
different. It's a little different.
It is a little different, but you're both right. I think there is some
think?
slapstick to it, but I think there is like it's not like
So
overtly slapstick.
but
I
it's
mean,
so
like
much
Nacho
self-
Libre was slapstick.
Well,
Yeah.
Nacho Libre is not like it's kind of
Everything he does is self-deprecating.
not everything, but some.
What has he not done that he hasn't done?
Like
any
Skull
self-
Rock wasn't really self-deprecating. He
No,
had
I
some
don't
moments
think so.
where he might have like kind of got goofy and like, but I feel like he wasn't.
Again, I can't really say anything
Or
because I
like
haven't watched the whole.
Tenacious D is the same way. It's not
Yeah,
really
that's really
like-
a musical, yeah.
but it's not
I
like
never saw him be.
it's not very self-deprecating either. What's another
But you
like?
are on to something.
Ah,
You
yeah,
are-
I can
you
say-
are
I
on
see
to
what you
something.
mean.
He's. Just,
I mean, if we're comparing him to Jim Carrey, I'm taking Jim Carrey all the time. Every day.
100%. But that's the thing is, you
I don't
can't-
know. I don't know.
I started. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I
love Jim
started a
Carrey.
long time back with Jim Carrey and in Living Color with Fire Marshal Bill.
Oh, with
That
the teeth,
got
got
me.
that guns.
Yeah, that got me. That got me, man. I've been.
We're
a
gonna
fan
take a way
ever
back on
since.
this one. Fucking
Yeah, Jim Carrey is
Shut
he's top 3 comedian of all time.
Oh, 100%.
comedian or like
I mean,
comedic actor.
Comedic actor, yeah.
I think all of the above. Period.
Yeah, his stand up never really. I never really listened to much of his stand up, but like comedic actors, yeah. Let me get Jim Carrey in the
Well,
top
he
3.
stopped stand up like in the late '90s anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, he never really did anything else
comedic
after
actors. I'm taking Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, Will Ferrell.
that.
Yeah.
God, Will Ferrell. I can't
Who am I
stand
missing?
him.
That was just off the top of my head.
Kevin Hart is the one I would replace Will Ferrell
Oh,
with.
I can't do Will Ferrell like that.
Easily.
It's funny, man.
As a
'Cause
comedian,
a lot of guys your age don't like Will Ferrell.
I cannot stand Will Ferrell.
Is it the dicks?
I think it's Talladega
No,
Nights.
It's Talladega Nights?
No, it's
Damn.
in my opinion, it is that whole.
Just
It's a,
stupid.
he's a different genre of
He's got his own style.
comedy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it is. It's not self-deprecating. It's not making fun of other people. It's being absolutely ridiculously stupid.
Yeah,
That
he's
was
like,
it.
I'm
That's
trying to be
funny.
serious, but he's pretending to be stupid.
Oh,
you know?
extreme.
Well, it was kind of like Jim Carrey though. Like
Not-
Dumb and Dumber is that.
That is
exactly.
the worst.
Jim and Carrey is just goofy.
Period. I mean,
Jim
yeah.
and Carrey.
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
I thought you said Jim and Carrey.
I don't know.
I don't think I Jim
I
and
don't
Carrey
know.
is so goofy, man. Yeah.
We're gonna all start Jim and
it's gonna be
Carrey.
that, yeah.
But you didn't like Dumb and Dumber?
I hated that.
Oh,
movie.
it's
I
my
hated,
favorite comedy
So
of all
what?
time.
So what Jim Carrey movies do you like then?
I actually like Bruce Almighty, believe it or not. Yeah, and only because he really gets under Steve Carell's
Oh
skin.
yeah, my tiny little nipples with the frame.
Right? Yeah.
But I actually like the Truman Show.
The Truman Show's
yeah,
amazing.
that was
Truman
a
But it's not like that
great
funny
show.
though. Like
It's not, but that's what.
oh, that's his best. That's his best movie.
100% in my
Probably, yeah.
opinion.
And then
Yeah.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Minds
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and so
Yeah,
I've
that's
heard some
probably
people
right.
say that's probably his best movie next to Truman Show, but
Close.
Probably right, yeah.
That's probably close, yeah.
but
That's
you
what I would
know,
do it.
there's nothing that he's played in. Honestly, you can't go wrong with The Mask.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, The
that's
Mask
just
is
me.
phenomenal. That's
I
a top
mean,
five. That's
yeah,
top five Jim Carrey.
and so, but he's been the exact same, except for the Truman Show.
When I
Spotless.
think of Jim Carrey, I think
Yeah.
of Dumb and Dumber, baby. I think of Lloyd
Ugh.
Christmas with
I
the
think
tooth.
I think of Dumb and Dumber. Every
God, it just hurt.
Another shrimp on the barbie.
me myself
She
and
was
I,
Austrian.
me myself and Irene is
Oh, that's
to me
fucking
the
peak comedy.
equivalent to.
That is peak comedy.
Yeah, that is the
It's
best.
so
Liar, liar.
Period.
Liar, liar was
I
good.
Yes,
fucking
Man.
love Liar,
Liar,
Liar.
Liar's
Yes,
good.
Man is okay, but
What
Liar,
about
Liar
the
is
number
shit.
23? That's a
That
very
was
underrated
great.
acting performance.
Thriller, yeah. I
That-
hadn't seen
that's
that.
It's not that good of a movie. It's a
It
mediocre
was,
plot.
but I don't-
I think in,
never-
his
as
acting
an actor, that is
That's
the
his
best.
top 3 acting
yeah.
performances.
That is one of the top 5 he's done. Period. As acting,
Yeah.
not being
Yeah.
slapstick comedy or
for
anything
sure.
like
Because
that.
it's hard to put the comedies in there with his high acting.
Yeah.
But Dumb and Dumber, he did a really good job.
He really did.
I don't know. I still think that could be thrown away and he'd still be the person he is today. Yeah.
He would definitely still have success.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
that's the
for
thing
sure.
is that if you can throw a particular
cable guy.
movie,
The
Watched it
fucking
last
cable
night.
guy.
cable guy, you
Watched
know,
it 2 days ago.
Yeah, I watched it on the plane back. It's
the-
again,
Yeah,
it's like the
that's-
fifth time.
It's
Oh,
the
my
pretend
God.
overbite. He used to
oh no,
pretend overbite.
no, I can't
Yeah.
even do it.
I know.
Yeah.
The Jefferson Airplane originally did this.
Yeah.
Don't
Carrey.
you want somebody to love? So ridiculous.
I tell you who I don't like. I don't know that name, but Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
You're talking about.
He's
He
a
also played in the
cable
Cable
guy.
Guy.
Yeah, he was-
Yeah,
he was that guy.
Not a fan.
you know,
He's so vanilla, dude.
oh,
pretty
dude,
vanilla.
he's
He's
he.
pretty vanilla.
You're gonna get the exact same thing from him, no matter what movie he's in.
Yeah, it's
period.
like
He's
Friends.
like the.
Yeah.
He's
boring.
like the.
Yeah, very boring.
you don't like Friends?
I
You
can't.
like The Office?
I've watched like half an episode once or
Man,
twice.
let me tell
but
you something.
You need to watch The
Treat
Office.
your fucking self. And
I've been told that several
you know how
times.
many times I wish I can go back. I'm actually about to finish it for like the 100th time.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah,
wish I
so,
could-
but like,
I wish
I could go
had
back and watch
Netflix
The Office
still.
for the first time.
I've been telling myself I need to, but
It's beautiful. It's hysterical.
It's so good.
It's a masterpiece. The Office is a masterpiece.
Season 1 is
It's tough.
it's a little tough to get through.
yeah.
You might like it. It's just very like
It's so cringe, but not in a
it's
good way.
super cringy, but like in it's there's some good moments in there. I like
There is,
I
yeah.
like season
Try
1.
my cookie.
Yeah, he's like very racist, very like he's
It's bad,
hilarious,
yeah.
but
But after season 1, it's like The Office.
it becomes The Office.
Yeah, it's
Season
The
2
Office.
to like season shit. After even like I'm still laughing my ass off after Steve Carell left.
It never stops.
yeah,
It
but-
never stops.
Yeah, I wish I
How
could
many
watch
seasons was it?
8,
8.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
and it's worth the watch.
So
from
it's a
start to finish.
binge-worthy type of.
Oh,
I
so
got
binge.
you.
It,
Okay.
It'll be hard not to binge watch it.
Yeah,
Really?
it runs
I need-
together so well.
I need to watch it then.
So funny. It's so
'cause-
funny.
When did what's his face, Chris Pratt? When did he start on The Office?
So he was on Parks and Rec.
Parts of Rec, maybe by the same people.
Oh, okay. That's where I got it confused.
And that
Okay.
was Ron Swanson.
Ron
wow.
Swanson was the dude. He's a different.
Ron Swanson is Parks and Rec.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I don't know
what
the
you said.
actor's name. Is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
was that was the guy that's in The Last of Us?
Yeah,
What's his damn name? I can't think of it.
I can't either. I know it, but I just
It's
can't
on the
think
tip
of
of
it.
my tongue. Yeah.
And Chris Pratt and what's her name?
Chris Pratt and Tina no, not
Plaza.
Tina Fey.
what's her name?
Oh,
Tina Fey. Audrey Plaza.
Audrey.
She's
Oh,
so-
my
or Aubrey, with a
God.
B.
Aubrey
Aubrey.
Plaza.
She is.
Oh yeah, she's hot.
Dude,
So hot.
So
I love you, Gidget,
So
but
hot.
I would drink her bathwater.
Oh,
there
we're
it
back.
is.
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah, she's hot. She's very hot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So hot.
And then who's the
Her
other one?
best movie, in my opinion, regarding her is what is it? Bad Grandpa with Robert
Oh
De
yeah, she
Niro.
was in that, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
She was in that. You gotta watch it.
refuse
It's
to watch
funny.
it.
Oh,
That's
dude,
funny.
it is hilarious.
Listen, man, Robert De Niro
He's
is
a
like,
big. He's a Robert De Niro truther,
Really?
yeah, I love Robert De Niro.
and he won't be tainted.
Truther.
He won't let Robert De Niro's.
I'm not gonna
reputation be
let
tarnished.
his wife take all his money from him and make him do stupid films. I can't watch those films. He was
That's
called
what
audio.
happened, though. That's what it is.
Yeah, he was like, I
Okay.
keep having to do these dumbass movies because
Oh,
you
man.
stealing all my money.
I'm going to tell you,
I'm like,
that was
I
that
can't
was
watch him in those movies.
that
I just
was
can't do it.
a great portrayal of
It's so
trying to
funny.
keep up with Zac Efron. I mean,
But he did so good with the
but he
fucking
did
handstand
great
thing. Dude, it's a
with
good
that.
movie. You would
is-
enjoy it.
You really would like
You
it.
gotta
Sure
just
would.
you gotta just ignore the fact that it's Robert De Niro.
It's
Yeah.
impossible.
No, it's not. It's easy.
It's so
But-
it's worth the watch. It's a good comedy.
Okay.
But I like Zac Efron though.
Well, I do too. I like. He's come a long way in his acting skills since I don't even
High School Musical and all that
or
shit.
whatever
Yeah.
that shit
I didn't really
is,
care
yeah.
for all that, but he did after Hot Ones. he
Charlie
was-
St. Cloud, in my opinion.
Oh, is that a movie he was
That's
in?
the one
Oh,
about the
dude,
kid, right?
yes.
His brother?
Yeah. So that's one of his. That and,
It looked good. I never watched it, but
it's
it looked
stupid good. That and I can't remember the name. He was a Marine and came home. Anyway, started working with a one of his buddies' sister that runs a dog camp or something like that. Anyway, but it was really good. I can't
I
remember.
feel like you're doing the plot for
Jeffrey Dahmer. No.
Sounds like the movie Brothers with Tobey Maguire.
And Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal, yeah. But it's similar,
And Natalie
but
Portman.
different. Yeah, but it is in that
Also
same department.
Oh God.
What?
Natalie Portman.
Oh, I swear to God.
Toby Maguire.
Also hot.
That's the
Jake
last.
Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, that's
Also
Jake Gyllenhaal
hot.
was the last name I heard. I was
What? Your face. Natalie Portman, man. Sorry.
Natalie Portman.
I still gotta watch Black Swan.
You know, dude, Mila Kunis.
Yeah, I've heard there's a
holy
gay sex scene in
shit.
there. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even give a shit about that. She's
well.
hot. I don't give a damn. I don't care if she's scrubbing toilets in Jupiter. She's hot.
That'd probably be kind of cold, actually.
Yeah.
I hear the temperature in Jupiter is pretty cold. So
It's called a movie, by the way, but yeah, it's damn. She's hot.
Oh, Jupiter's a movie.
Yeah, you didn't know
Scrubbing
that?
toilets in Jupiter.
Yeah, you've never seen that movie? No.
Scrubbing
Okay.
toilets in Jupiter, or Jupiter's the movie.
Jupiter.
And
is
she
the
scrubs
movie.
toilets
And
in the
she
movie. Okay,
scrubs
got it.
toilets.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had to get to the
okay.
bottom of that one. It was a mystery.
Obviously, listen.
I was like, wait a minute, huh?
I didn't think I was
Scrubbing
that hard
toilets
to
in
understand,
Jupiter.
but I mean,
That
okay,
is a fucking-
I get it.
B-rated film.
That's definitely B-rated. Yeah.
And it's not Mila Kunis, it's Mila Kunis. That's her name
Kunis. Oh, okay.
in the B film.
Is that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kunis.
Just trying to
I
be
thought
funny.
it was Kunis anyway.
No, it is. I was trying to be funny. Sorry.
Sometimes you bomb.
It should have stayed in my head. I understand. I got it.
Nope, it shouldn't have, because you gave us the joy of making fun of you. So it was
That's okay.
great.
That's easy.
It was perfect. You gave us the joy of laughing at you and not with you.
There you go. As long as you're laughing, that's all I care about. And I'm
That's a
in your
good
mouth
outlook.
It was
at
so
the same
good.
time.
That's true.
I'm good.
You do any hunting?
I wish I did.
You look like
was-
a hunting
I've
guy.
always
That was
wanted to.
180 degrees.
Yeah.
You say you've never hunted? Me neither.
Never. I've always wanted to, and I've got the rifle for it. And my oldest son Tyler, he wants to do it as well. So we're thinking about trying to buy some land. You know,
Oh, heck
to,
yeah,
to
dude.
go out
That's
hunting
awesome.
on and do things like that. But we're not, set in stone with it yet. But we're really looking really close at doing that. So
That's cool.
Heck yeah, man. And I know you've never hunted, but
Yeah, I think I could get into like
bow hunting.
probably.
It's not the type.
I could get into bow hunting.
That'd
I
be
think.
sick.
Yeah.
So I know I talked about some of the guys at work that rock climb, and after the freaking trip in Austria, dude, going up the mountain, and
Yep.
I want to rock climb right now. Like I feel like I want to like spend more time outdoors, anyways. Like
Yeah, I was talking.
kayaking and like rock climbing, like stuff like that, because it's like, why not? It's great exercise, and it's kind of beautiful outside. Like, why not?
I was talking to Justin, my brother-in-law, and he's wanting to do like a trip out camping, kind of like in the mountains.
yeah.
Then you think about the Tom Segura bit.
Which one?
It's like, why would people go camping when you want to pretend to be living like poor people?
Yeah.
What do you want to pretend that you're
No,
poor?
that's the reason why I have a camper.
Yeah.
By the way, a
That's why I have
32
a
football
with air conditioning,
Yeah.
and a bathroom and a shower.
Pretend to be poor.
Exactly.
You wanna
Yep.
pretend to be poor.
Oh yeah.
I can go glamping and not camping.
No, I'm trying to I would like to go on like trail, because I've always kind of enjoyed that, but I've never just had the
I
time.
think it'd be
like,
cool
done
to
it.
like conquer mountains. Like get
Yeah,
to the top of those mountains.
exactly.
There is something else about
There's some
it, right?
beauty. There's some beauty in that struggle. There's always beauty in the struggle.
Oh, 100%.
But there's so much struggle in that. Don't try to fucking make fun of you, bitch. You had a hot yoga this morning, man. I don't want to fucking hear it.
That has nothing to do with this.
Let's scratch that.
This will turn into a roast session real fast.
We're
Don't do this.
editing. We're editing this part out. I promise.
Yeah, right.
I just was thinking about the song, the J. Cole song.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
just
I don't
made me
know, it's
think.
kind of fun being successful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there is beauty in the struggle. So
For sure.
like I could see myself wanting to like go kayaking or like climb go trails and mountain climbing and stuff like that. Like, it sounds fun.
It's definitely fun until you fall. But yeah.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
that's
break your
everything.
ankle, and just like, oh, you got to
Yeah.
have 3 people drag me out of here.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. Shit, I've got 2 of them, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we can always live life in fear, or we could just go do the shit.
or you can be realistic and say, maybe this is not for me.
No, I think it's for me.
I mean, you're
I think it's for me.
23.
I am.
It is definitely for you.
I think
It's
for
a
me.
young man's game, that's for sure,
It
right?
is.
I think it's for me.
Do it. What stops you?
Oh, nothing. I'm going to start doing it. That's what I'm saying. Like, Like I'm really looking into starting to do it. Like I'm telling y'all. Yeah,
this is where I'm starting to tell you. I'm doing this.
This is this is an idea. So our good buddy Jacob Clevenger, he actually he was taking jiu-jitsu from Nick for a while. He moved out to Ohio, but he has been kayaking his entire life.
Oh, really?
And he's been trying to get me to go for so long. And so I've already been talking to him, and like the next time he comes and visits, we're talking about going kayaking.
Oh,
but I'm so excited, man. It's going to be fun.
It's definitely going to be an adventure.
It's definitely one of those things that's like, I think I want to be outside a little bit more because my job and working, teaching karate, I'm inside so much. And so it's like, I enjoy nature, but like, it's also good exercise. And so that's what I'm kind of like trying to push towards, like doing some more stuff.
I've been having a little kick on that lately.
Like practical exercising.
Serious? I don't need to climb Mount Everest or nothing. Where like I see dead bodies and shit. It's like climbing up. I don't think it's that serious.
No,
but you want to.
That's where it starts. That's how it starts.
That's exactly. That's
you climb a hill, and next thing you know, you're one of those bodies.
You're wanting more. Well, and when we went up the mountain in Austria last week, it was it really did go okay. I definitely want to do more. I want to go back because I used to go hiking with the boys pretty regularly when our oldest was in Boy Scouts and he had his Eagle Scout project that we did at Chimney Gap Trail up in North Carolina. And we used to probably walk that trail, I don't know, 5-6 times a year, easy for 2 years, just to get used to the trail. And when you get older and get fatter, it's not as easy to do.
Well, you have lost a lot of weight, and
I have, and I appreciate that. But I can't lose age. It's still
that's true. That's true. That's true. But like taking it in, taking what you can get at this point,
Well, that's all I can get.
What have you been really doing to like lose all the weight?
Just changing the way I eat. Really, mainly eating one meal a day whenever I get home from work, and then just really munching on trail mix and a lot of water, things like that, cutting back on alcohol. Now, of course, it's my cheat weekend, just so that everybody knows.
We timed this well.
Yeah, we timed it very well, and it was
You want another beer, by the way?
I do.
I'll be back.
Love another beer. Thank you, brother. Yep.
Yes, please. I've already drank 3 or 4 since I've been up here.
He wants another beer, by the way.
I can't do it. I do want another beer.
I feel you. I feel you. But
I've been looking at y'all for a while now. Oh man, another one sounds so good. I'm trying to do better, man. I really am.
And that's the thing. Like, the older we get, the more we do realize that we can go excess in things. And I am the world's worst with very lack of self-control when it comes to drinking.
Me too. We can get out of hand on some of these podcasts. I'm sure you've heard.
But that's what makes it real.
It makes
right?
it fun.
It does.
It makes it fun.
It really does. But when you get a bunch of friends together that can have great conversation and let's be honest, have other people interested in the conversation.
Yes.
It goes a long way. And,
I think so too.
Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can have it. And, if a little bit of beer does it, then that's fine.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you a lot.
Outstanding, sir. I don't care what anybody says about you. You're pretty awesome. Thank you.
They say a lot.
You should have heard the stuff I heard about you.
That's okay. They're gonna talk. It's because they know about me. So
That's right. That's right.
Again, I'll go back to, as long as you're in their mouth, that's all that matters.
I don't know that I want to be.
It doesn't matter.
The way that you insinuated that, it sounds kind of dirty.
It really got you going, didn't it?
It didn't. No.
It sounded like it did.
It sounded like it did.
It sounded like it did.
Isn't that such a beautiful sound?
It is a great sound.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers to your water, Shawn.
Cheers, yep. I'm dialing it back here lately, trying to see.
It's understandable.
How I feel.
It's understandable.
Hey,
I'll support you in every fucking step.
Yeah.
I'll support you in every step.
It's been fun.
All right.
It's been fun.
Oh, dude, it's been fun.
It's been fun not drinking beer. Yeah.
I heard the concern in your face there for a second. I even heard it irradiating.
I went to the Mexican restaurant last night and I didn't drink sweet tea. I drank water. And their sweet tea is always good at a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
And I didn't have sweet tea. I didn't have a beer. Like I could have had sweet tea. That would have been easy to not have a beer having sweet tea. But just water at the Mexican restaurant, that was kind of tough last night.
I know it's tough.
But it was worth it. I'm so glad I did. But
I
186
like
this morning. 186.1.
Somewhere around there.
I ain't even going to talk about it. I gained 4 pounds while we were in Austria, and I have not lost it yet.
I did good. I gained
I
gained 1 pound.
3 days. Yeah,
but I also like kind of starved myself. I starved myself a few days.
Yeah, I didn't.
I
mean,
the day after our big blowout, I starved myself until like 4 o'clock. I didn't eat my first meal.
Yeah, I damn sure didn't.
Because I knew.
But we walked around a lot.
We did. We walked a lot.
Yep. And that helped a lot. So that's
At
the only
tournament
reason.
that Saturday, I was like 16,000 steps.
Oh yeah, that day.
So I was bouncing back and forth between rings.
It was
constantly.
What time did we leave the tournament?
We got there. 8? We got there at 8 and left at 8:30.
Oh, okay, 8:30. Yep.
I was there for over 12 hours.
Yeah, it was a long time, but it was worth it.
It's
Absolutely
so fun, man.
worth
There's
it.
so much knowledge to be gained there,
dude. I'm telling you,
that's so fucking fun.
To see the at least Caden and Turtle. That's all I can speak for. They really gained a lot in that day of learning.
Yeah, for sure. That's it. That's exactly what it is.
Yep.
Just like I think Danny said that it's whenever you're at the tournament that long, it's training. You're training all day.
Oh, all day.
All day. You're looking at people fighting and you're taking in knowledge without noticing. Your subconscious is taking in knowledge, and then you fight somebody you've never fought ever for 4 minutes or however long you're fighting them.
Yep.
And you're taking in knowledge there. So it's like.
And I'll tell you, those every one of them there, all the men and women and young kids, they did a great job. They really did.
Yeah,
it was a really good experience for everybody that went. Period.
Well, yeah, and like it takes courage just to step into the ring.
For
it
sure.
takes so much.
When you're
courage
talking
to
about
step into the ring.
international like that,
I
for
can
sure.
imagine, yeah.
To any ring, you step in the ring in the Palmetto Middle School.
Yeah.
You're stepping in front of all your friends that are probably going to be there and
You're
watching
stepping in
you.
front of someone who wants to crush you.
It's
That's the
so
goal.
much.
Immediately.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
It's so much courage.
If
to
you
step into
sat
the
there,
ring.
they would crush you.
Yep.
So you are like doing your best to prevent that. You're
For
trying
sure.
to crush them. So it's
Yep.
like
You're laying it all out there, and it's so much courage to step into a ring.
yeah,
So
it's
you go out there and you lose by 10 points. It doesn't matter. You get 10. You get sprayed. You
At
get
least you
beat in the
fucking
first.
had the balls.
You go out
to
there and get knocked
Oh,
out.
man.
Whatever happens.
That's-
That takes so much courage.
I'm telling you, that's why every single damn one of those. How many participants? 260 something. I think
for
is what
Austria,
I heard. Yeah.
it was more than that.
Was it?
It was like 700.
Damn, I didn't think it was
Yeah,
that
it was
many.
pushing. It was like over 580 or something. It was crazy.
Holy shit, man!
It was
It
crazy.
was a lot I didn't see, but there was it was massive.
Well, and you got to think a lot of the guys, they saw their times and they came in as
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah,
there were good, there were
yeah.
people coming and going nonstop.
Constantly, yeah. Not like us that had to be there all day.
Right.
But,
And it's like when you do combat sports, you do it long enough, you're gonna get caught.
oh sure.
You're on the football field long enough, you're gonna get that blind
Yeah.
side,
Unless you're like
baby. It's coming.
unless you're like Habib and just retire.
I
I can't show this retirement.
Anybody
I can't show
caught?
this
Anybody catch Khabib?
He retired, man. He retired.
I respect Khabib. He was so dominant. I know you don't like him as much as I do. But
Nah, I just bullshitting. You know, what I mean, I got to throw my shots in at Khabib.
yeah,
But he's a fucking legend for sure.
It is. Yeah, you play contact sports long enough, you're gonna get caught. And knowing that, it's like it might not be the day,
Win.
but it's coming.
Win.
Oh, it's
coming.
And that's one of those things. Is it's just the same as playing a football, right? You have a 50-50 shot when you start the game.
Yeah.
50-50. Period. Doesn't matter what it is, because you can't. No matter what the bookies say, you can't justify that it's any more than 50-50 when you start each and every single game, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you
don't
can.
know, man. I'm taking Vegas aside with this one.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you think about it, on paper is a whole.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
completely
Oh,
different
that's
thing.
true. That's very
Yeah.
true.
Odds are different than what it is every single game. When you're out there playing, I mean, that you can be number one, NFL, college, it doesn't matter, and you can still lose that weekend, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Sure.
truly a 50-50 game when you start.
Yeah,
Now,
when you start the game, it's
Yep.
50-50. And based off of like first down,
yep.
that's going to control, like first down is 50-50 whether you can, have gain yards or,
Right. Or control the clock.
or control the clock. And then as the game goes on, like, can you win these 50-50 battles
Yep.
inside of the game that started 50-50?
Right.
And if you can gain the edge on those 50-50 battles, then the big picture of like
Yep.
where it started is going to sway.
Yeah, for
So-
sure.
And that's why I believe in team sports, period. And even if it's like wrestling where it's individual, but it's still a team.
Yeah, you have to like accumulate points for the team, right?
Yeah, and you know, I don't like it. Like, I think that's the reason why I'm not a big fan of like tennis, because tennis is individual. I don't think that there's a team out there that in tennis unless they do duels, but
Right.
you know, but that's the only time it's an actual team. I mean, but again, this is my ignorance and not knowing enough
and the
about,
thing with like
tennis
is you kind of play with like it's a lot like martial arts in a way where you're practicing against other people, and every single person you can practice against, you're going to get different looks.
Yeah.
In that way. So like martial arts is obviously much more expansive than tennis is. There's so many more moves using so many more parts of your body. But like tennis in the same way, you're practicing against a single person. You're practicing against an individual.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just practice against one person your whole life,
you're
probably not going to be that good.
Not at all.
So at the end of the day, like even individual sports, they grow in a way like martial arts does.
Mm-hmm.
Like where you get all that knowledge from one person and then it keeps passing on. And then so many individual people build knowledge in a team kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
That was me advocating for tennis, even though I've never played tennis, but like that's how individual sports are in general.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an advocate for any sport that you want to do because I think
too.
you go out there and you're putting yourself on the court, you're putting yourself out
It
there.
doesn't matter what you do
To compete against another person, you are laying your pride on the line, and it takes so much courage, man.
Well, and you say that now with regard to that statement, I think it's also on the other end of the spectrum where they give trophies out just because you participation. I hate it with a passion.
I will say
this.
I think,
I said you're about to argue with us, aren't you?
Not really.
I was kind of hoping because I want to hear.
But I will.
Yeah,
I'm gonna kind of take a little less aggressive side of that. I think that maybe in middle school, high school sports, I agree with that. But like anybody in like elementary school, I think there should be an encouragement to stay in that sport. Whether like if you are kind of, I mean, we all know when we've seen kids that are not as good as other young kids.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, man, this kid might not should be doing this. A participation trophy at like an early age could help you kind of come up from the depths.
So you're talking about it helps them with their confidence.
A little bit, yeah.
Not anything other than confidence. It doesn't help them with their skill level. It doesn't help.
Well, I think that maybe it is just the confidence.
It's just their
maybe it's just the
quote
confidence.
unquote feelings, right?
Maybe so. But once you get into like middle school, high school, I believe that it's time to start being a little more of an aggressive kid. It's time to like, okay, we're competing at a little bit high of a level here. It's time to do away with those trophies. You know, kids, it's like real little kids, you know, who've kind of been coddled. There's a lot of kids that, you know, especially in karate, I've noticed like a lot of parents bring their kids there because they're either being bullied or they're trying to like for discipline reasons, you know, to kind of like an alternative to like my parenting really isn't connecting with them. Maybe I can bring them to somebody who's got a little bit more discipline, can surround them with other kids who have discipline. And I think a participation trophy at that age, like early elementary school, could build some confidence to like, you know what, maybe that kid will feel connected to this gym in some kind of way to where they stay long term. And then after that cutoff of like elementary school or like when they're really early, like young, eventually it will be like, you know, no participation trophies at all.
My counter argument to that is the kids that are struggling in the same way, but they get that false sense of confidence where, and like you see it, I'm sure you've seen like the videos and the memes, the fake, whatever it is about it, where it's like the purple belt 13-year-old that's like talking shit to the 18-year-old, like I could whip your ass, I'm a purple belt in karate.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's all about the status.
You're giving them false confidence. I've won so many tournaments. I have so many medals. You're giving them that false confidence, which does losing not give you some of that like same like drive, like which I get what you're saying about like, you know, a kid that
keeping them involved.
Keeping them involved for sure. That's what participation trophy does.
Little like a little nudge to help them like, okay, when you're a kid that gets beat up every class, eventually you should be like, fuck this, man. And you get a little nudge, it's like, okay, maybe, I'm kind of, you see a little bit of signs of progression at the lowest levels of trying to be good at karate. So I think that like, eventually you got to cut it off.
Right.
When kids start like, it's time to take accountability for your own actions. It's time to like kind of transition into that, you know, young man, young woman. That's probably when you start to cut those those trophies out
Yeah, I
because
can see
eventually
that.
you got to learn. You got to take accountability for your actions. You got to
Right.
yes, everything's just not you just show up and get a trophy.
Right.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
we're on the same page there. But I think early stages of, those kids that not only do they not know what they're doing, but like they've never played sports. They have no coordination. They're
there for fun, not for the win or lose.
Yeah, that's
or
right.
maybe even they're just there because their parents told them to fucking
Yeah.
be
Well,
there.
and also I think
And they're trying to live through
and
their
just like
kids.
I said, like the courage of going out there and competing
Yeah.
Yeah.
is very hard to have. And
But-
so when you go out there, you have the courage to compete. They deserve that medal for having that courage. I think I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
But the problem is they don't have that courage unless they know that there's something at the end of the rainbow, quote unquote.
Maybe so. I see where you're coming from.
You
You're
know?
coming from a more like your generation is definitely.
Yeah.
I really relate to that. Your generation too is a very like it's hard nosed, very stoic, very take pride in what you do, very hard working. Which
Whatever you put in is what you
what
get
you
out.
get.
If you're gonna quit when it gets hard, then you don't.
Yeah, and I'm
You don't
Yeah.
learn anything.
Yeah,
I
agree
feel
with
like
that.
I connect with that more than anything.
For sure.
But I think there is.
But
we gotta play those
there's
sides.
a middle ground.
There is.
Yeah, there's always a middle ground, and that's for me and my wife. That's the way we've treated the boys. When they were in rec, they gave participation trophies. I mean, it is what it is. We didn't make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that we celebrated. It was as simple as, okay, cool, you got a trophy, let's take a picture. That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
You had a piece of pizza, you celebrated it, and that's
I'm
it.
cool with that. Yeah.
And then after that, then it became to a point where they had to, okay, so now you realize that whatever effort you put in is what you get out. If you put in 100%, you're going to get whatever 100% you put in worth back out.
Right.
Now, win or lose doesn't matter. That's just what you're going to get out of it.
Right.
But if you only put in 50%, then guess what? You're only going to get half-assed out of it, and you ain't going to like it. It's just not what you're going to want to do.
Yeah, I think there's levels to it, and I think that at the smallest level, participation trophies don't bother me that much.
Sure.
But
Oh,
then,
yeah, I can
like,
see that.
when you make that next level, it's time to stop
Yeah.
babying you.
Yeah,
It's time to win some
100%.
trophies.
Yeah, I agree. And but I also think there's there's a problem with coaching too. And I think they expect some participation trophies because they want to keep their students there or whatever it is.
Engaged, quote unquote.
Yeah, keep them engaged. Exactly. Yeah.
They
But,
just
like-
have a different idea of what engaged really is.
Right. And like for me, it's like today, this morning at practice, we had a pretty small class. It was Jacob and then my student Elijah. And so we had a pretty small class. We got rounds with the three of us, and we were hopping in with the little kids. So there was 4 little kids there today. We were hopping in and getting rounds with them, just having fun, but also like trying to like make it like fun. We're having fun with them pretty much, making it hard on them. And so then they would fight each other after all the little kids did. And a few of them, they would lose their fight and they would come away and they'd be crying, they'd be mad, they'd be upset or whatever.
Yep.
And then it was great for me because I got to sit down. I got the opportunity to sit down and talk to them. Like, look, why are you crying? Oh, because all my stuff I was hitting everything first and they were hitting after and they were giving her the point.
Yep.
Okay, well, are you sure you were hitting first? Yeah, I was trying to. Well, are you because the judge, and like talking to them in a calm manner where they can understand a little better and not in a way that's like letting them understand why they lost and what they can do differently to make it better instead of just being like, oh, no, you won. You got a trophy. Here
placing
you
the
go,
blame,
buddy.
yeah.
Yeah. Here's the trophy. You didn't do so bad. You did pretty
Yeah.
good.
Right.
And it's not really like, you lost, but losing isn't a bad thing.
You have
Oh,
to
I agree, 100%.
Any successful person out there on the planet has lost. And
Exactly.
that's what you learn
1,000
from.
times.
You learn from what you lose by far more than what you win.
Yeah, and that's
Oh,
my
I agree.
argument
Totally
is that
agree.
like the coaches aren't, and I could be wrong about this, but it feels like to me like the participation trophy thing is like the people that put those on are the same people that are kind of lazy in the way of like they're not teaching their students or their
Well, they feel like they've put in a little bit of effort on their end, whether it's getting the pizza that day or whatever.
Right.
They feel like they put in a little bit of effort, so that's their way of quote unquote recognition. And I hate to say it like that, but it's all about ego with
it is.
participation
Oh, yeah.
trophies.
It is.
I can see that.
It's all about egos. It's about egos of the coaches. It's about egos of the parents. It's more not necessarily for the kids. It's for appeasement of the parents.
Yeah.
Right. And like my job, I feel as a coach is not only teaching you how to win, but also teaching you to learn how to lose.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not getting comfortable with losing, but learning how to lose in a way that's like when you lose, yeah, you can be so mad that you lost, but if that's all you are, then you get nothing. You're just going to go out and lose again.
Because you're eventually going to lose in that sport.
Oh.
In any sport. You're
Any
going
sport.
to
And so
lose.
If you lose and then you're like, oh, I'm so mad, and then you do nothing about it, you're going to go lose again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you do something wrong and then you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that wrong, and you do nothing about it, you're going to go do something wrong again. You're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
You're going to make the same mistake.
Yep.
So you
You
got
don't
to
learn from
analyze.
it.
You got to analyze your losses. You got to be like, what did I do wrong there? What did I do different? Just like Glover said last week. He said, there's going to be a point in your life where you come across two paths. You can go left or right. Mm-hmm. Now, you might take the left path. And then when you take the left path, that might be the wrong path. And then in a year from now, you can always be like, oh, man, I took the left path. That was so stupid of me. Why did I do that? Or you could just take the right path next time.
Well, there's always a next time.
You can always dwell on, oh, I took the left path. Mm-hmm. It was wrong. Or next time you can just take the right path. Go right next time.
And you'll figure it out along the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually, you'll just start taking more right paths.
Well, and be okay with making a mistake.
Yes.
I tell people at work all day, every day, it's okay to make a mistake.
It is.
When it's not okay is when you make the same mistake 10 times because you're not learning. You're choosing not to grow from that. So, but if you make a mistake, that's how we learn. That's the vast majority of the population of human beings is we learn the fastest when we make a mistake because we don't want to make the same mistake.
Right.
And so, when you go and you're doing construction, building a deck, I mean, if you make the wrong cut one time, guess what? You ain't going to make that shit twice.
Right.
So you got to make the mistake to learn from it.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's the same way no matter what you're doing. But again, a lot of parents are adamant about don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. It's not okay. And then they, whenever the child or hell, young man or young woman get to a certain age and they get emotional because they quote unquote made a mistake and they're all in their feelings because of it. And so then they can't function nowadays. And when they can't function, you can't do anything. Then they need a mental health day.
It gets so and it's such a thing.
It goes in a whole different direction and it's in a negative direction.
Yes,
ultimately.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's such a thing where it's a negative thing to fail.
Yeah,
and
you
can't be afraid to fail. As
That's
soon as
what
you're
keeps
afraid,
people
you're gonna fail.
From chasing anything that they think they might like.
Yep,
as soon as you're afraid to fail, you're gonna be afraid to
suck
try.
at it. Mm-hmm. You're gonna suck at it.
As soon as you're afraid to fail,
because nobody's born with that knowledge, right?
Yeah,
you can't pick up a guitar and just start shredding like Eddie Van Halen.
No.
You gotta suck at it.
Yeah.
One thing that we were in the airport and Jacob says to me, I don't know how we got to talking about this, and he says that it's kind of weird, like the kids that have to go to therapy. Mm-hmm. He was like, if I ever had a kid that went to therapy, I feel like I would have failed as a parent.
That's what he said.
Yeah, and I was like, why do you feel that way? He was like, well, because I feel like I should be the one that they can come to and they can be comfortable. I was like, well, you know what? You got to think though too. Like, what if your dad tried to teach you point fighting his whole life and had never done point fighting, and then you go out there and lose a tournament? Do you think he should feel failed as a point fighting instructor? He's not a point fighting instructor.
Yeah.
So like, you're not a
therapist.
therapist. So like, these people go to college for 4 years and they get degrees and they learn every single aspect and they have so much experience.
What's even worse about that is his mom's has a master's degree in psychology. So,
oh, really?
Yes, she does.
And okay, well that's different. But like even then, it's like it takes so much to learn like how the human mind works.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then people still go to school for it,
but
and they still don't really know.
There's always going to be things that a child feels like they can't talk with their parents about.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's always going to be that.
For sure.
So like to get a clean perspective with someone who has studied the human mind and psychology, I think it's always healthy. I think that's healthy for anyone. I've considered getting one for myself, and I feel like I've talked about it on the podcast. I've been at the most mental peak spot I've ever been in my life. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, it
could be better.
It could be better. And also maybe they can teach me something that I could, connect with my friends with.
So what you're saying is you want to learn what you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, basically.
Yeah. Spot on.
For sure.
Yep. Spot on.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly
and that's the thing every day is that that's part of growing up as an adult is that we want to learn the shit that we don't know.
We don't know, yeah.
We don't know. And what we don't know, we don't know.
Yeah.
Until we're taught.
Yeah, and that's what I really emphasize to them is that like as parents they're not experts.
No.
You know, whenever you become a parent one day, if you become a parent one day, you're not going to be an expert.
You're just gonna figure it out as you go.
Yeah,
and ask the village around you,
and then apologize to the kids
Yeah.
when they get
Yeah,
older.
right.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I was wrong on that one. Sorry.
I'm sorry. And I can't tell you. I've said that several times to my boys because I'm adamant about if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Shit, it doesn't matter what it is.
I respect the fucking. That's the way to do it. That's like cheers, man. Cheers to
Yeah,
that.
I appreciate
cheers
that.
to
Cheers.
being an open parent and not being scared. That's the wrong thing. You're drinking water. That's like
There's a little bit
you got to. It's all a journey as far as raising a kid or being
Sure.
a kid, you know. And just like Shawn was saying, it takes a village to raise a kid.
Yep.
So you can't feel bad if you're making a wrong decision because at the end of the day, you're going to.
Yeah. I
Just
mean,
like you made this wrong decisions for your own life. Might as well for someone else's life. That is so crazy.
But then you're just your intentions are there. The good intentions are
Right,
what
right.
led you to that decision. Whether the decision was right or wrong,
Yeah.
it still led you to the good intentions led you to that. And so it's a whole different aspect when you have bad intentions and you make a bad decision.
Right.
And it's like that's your own fucking fault. I mean,
Yeah,
exactly.
You need to suck it up and deal with that shit. But if you have great intentions going into it and then still make a bad decision, it's like, okay, shit. Now I know how to not make that same bad decision
right.
again. And then you grow up and you start, that's when you start to really grow as a person,
Yeah,
period.
for sure.
So
for sure.
yeah, this has been
Man.
a great, this has
It's been
been
a good podcast,
great,
man.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, man.
great conversation, guys.
It's nice to finally meet you, dude.
Yeah, man.
I've heard
it's
nothing
been
but good
great.
things. The stories in Austria.
Listen, it's all lies. I promise. It's all lies.
Only for mine. I'm not a liar yet.
Yeah.
But it's been
fun.
fantastic. It's been great.
Yeah, it's
man.
been a good
I
podcast,
really
guys.
appreciate that.
The beers, the lunch, all of it, man.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you coming on and cheers,
Absolutely.
guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Dang, I don't have much left.
Oh, you have nothing left, man.
Nothing left of them.
See you guys.
Appreciate it. Love you guys.